Good evening, everyone. Good Friday evening. And yeah, it is actually Good Friday. I didn't even mean to do that. This is Josh here with Horror Hangouts, a special Friday evening edition. And I'm doing something a little different. I wanted to try, probably just maybe a once a year type of thing, maybe twice a year, where instead of having all my guests on all at once, I got to bring them on one at a time, bring them in every 30 minutes or so. So this is going to be a much longer live stream than I normally do, probably. I'm all ready, set and go. So I'm going to bring in my first guest of the evening, and he is new to the show. I have George Galishak. Did I
Yep, that's
pronounce that
that
right?
that's really good actually. Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, those English classes I took in college actually paid off. Who knew? So, George is a frequent contributor on Substack, where I'm on, and several of my other guests are as well. So, George, where are you? You're from? You're in the East Coast. Is that correct?
Yep, the beautiful state of New Jersey.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, sometimes get some people on from the Northeast. So, okay, we got New Jersey represented. So, George, one question I always ask my guests are, where did your love of horror start?
From my dad. So he loved horror movies. He watched them all the time. So I started with the Universal monster movies, Dracula, Wolfman, stuff like that, and then just went from there.
Excellent. That's kind of how I started a little bit. What's been like some of your favorite horror movies over the years?
I've watched a lot of 80s horror movies because that's when I was a teenager. So, all of the Friday the 13th movies. I saw most of them in the theater. I saw most of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies in the theater. I saw my parents, when I was 12 years old, took me to see An American Werewolf in London because they thought it was a comedy. Because the trailers featured, there was a DJ Wolfman Jack, and the movie looked like a comedy, so they thought it was. And my mother lasted 10 minutes, I lasted 20 minutes, and then my dad stayed in the theater and watched the whole movie.
Awesome. Yeah, those early. What do you think about horror that you enjoy the most? What's resonated the most with you while beginning your journey as a fan of the horror genre?
Well, just you can watch a lot of cool movies, which is awesome. Um, there are a lot of movies, which is awesome. I always I find watching horror. I enjoy it. It's in some ways it's relaxing to watch a horror movie. I feel I don't know. If I'm not feeling great, I can watch a horror movie and my mood will pick right up. So
Yeah, I totally understand that. One second here. So tell us, how long have you been on Substack?
about a year. So I joined because I was on. I had a WordPress site, and WordPress changed their algorithm, so the numbers that I had gathered up vanished overnight. So I was like, "Yeah, I'm gone." So I went to Substack, and it was May of last year, and I didn't really start posting seriously until July. So there was like a 2 month gap. So I really started in July.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I think I may have tried WordPress once, but it wasn't on there for very much. Um, what's your main with your Substack? What exactly is your main focus with your Substack page?
Well, it's changed. Originally, originally it was obscure movies that I thought deserved another look. So I would mash up genres, kind of like Netflix used to do. So I would do Eurotrash zombies, black and white Frankenstein movies, slashers that didn't have sequels, Monsters in the City. So I did that, and then when I got to Toys of Terror in December, I burned out because there's so many doll movies, killer doll movies. It broke me. It really did. It broke me.
Broke you.
Yeah.
What's some of your? Do you have any recent favorite movies that have come out in recent years?
Yeah, I thought I watched Terrified, which is an Argentinian horror movie.
I've heard of it.
Oh, it's really freaky. You'll know it starts. It's one of those movies that it's not a slow build movie. It starts really strong and it doesn't let up. So yeah, I enjoyed that one. Let me see what else. This month I'm doing folk horror month, so I'm going to watch the Witch, which I've never seen before.
Okay.
I'm going to watch Midsummer, which I've never seen before. So there's a bunch of my horror knowledge in the 80s, 70s and 80s is really good, and then somewhere in the early 90s it kind of drops off. And then I was friends with a guy, and we would watch like really really bad horror movies, um, and then I kind of fell off. So
If you hear some bark in the background, it's my dog. Yeah, I've gone through that. There have been some stages where I've gone through where I've kind of like dropped off a little bit, which happened a little bit in the 90s, and something comes around and it repeaks my interest, and I get back into it. And I think it's only been recently, maybe within the last 5 or 6 years, I've started watching, I guess you could say, more modern folk horror movies, like, Midsummer, for example, or The Witch is another one. I think I saw someone ask this in the Substack the other day, why they spell witch with two V's instead of a W, and I think it has something to do with some ancient symbol.
it's the typeface. So
Yes.
I had two people answer. They said the typeface, it was easier to do two V's. So Substack is really good like that. If you ask a question like that, like you'll get an answer, which is like good. I also I was going to see Hereditary, but I'm not sure if that counts as folk horror or not. It's kind of like
Probably not quite. I mean, it's made by the same studio as some of the A24, by some of the other movies you mentioned. I wouldn't, that's more, I guess, supernatural, paranormal horror, maybe, possession horror, perhaps in some levels. So, I think ones you've mentioned, I think that one's probably my favorite. It might be tied with The Witch. I know I liked it better than Midsummer, but
I I watched 20 minutes of Hereditary and freaked out. So like the thing is, my dad loved horror movies.
right.
My mom was a huge jumper during horror movies.
Uh-huh.
So I love horror movies, but I'm a huge jumper. So some people say that depending on the movie, I'm more entertaining to watch than the movie.
I think the only time, I mean, the most recent time I can think about where I actually jumped out of my seat is back in 2017 when I saw It Chapter 1 in the theaters. And I don't know if you've seen the movie yet, but
Not yet.
there's the scene where they're in the garage and they have the projector going. And when Pennywise jumps out of the screen, I have to admit that did make me jump a little bit out of my seat. So doesn't happen very often, but that's one time I can kind of think that
I,
of a scene from a movie that kind of did that to me.
I rewatched The Exorcist, and actually that made me jump. That's still a really disturbing movie, even after all these. I've seen it a bunch of times, but it still packs a real punch.
Yeah, sometimes when there's the initial shock when you see a movie for the first time, but then even when you know the scene's coming, it's still so horrifying that you're bracing
Yeah.
yourself for when that comes out. I guess same thing when the shark jumps out of the water in Jaws for
Oh
that
yeah.
first time. You know it's coming, but you still kind of you might jump a little bit for that scene. I'm sure there's other scenes like that too in other movies for other people for sure.
Yeah, I mean, jumping is part of the fun for
Oh
me
yeah,
anyway. You know,
for sure.
it's. I mean, I don't have choice whether I do or not, so I might as well say it's fun.
Okay, we got someone here. Rocky the Flying Squirrel is in the chat watching live right now. Says hi Josh, hi George, hi Rocky.
So
Yeah, we got.
I saw a movie that you had seen, The Love Witch.
Oh, did you watch that recently?
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was, it's not. I thought it was good. It's really great. The use of color I thought was really great in the movie. Uh, the movie looked really good, and I thought it was actually parts of it were kind of disturbing, actually.
I watched that for the first time last Friday night actually, and what I liked about I like the fact that it's set in the 1960s, and they do a very good job of bringing that 60s Technicolor to life.
They're
On
excited.
one, yeah, I'll mute myself here real quick. I did not want to do that. Hey, when do you get in here? Sorry about that. That's the thing about going outside with these things, and normally they want to behave themselves. So, anyhow,
I uh, I also watched one called Messiah of Evil that I really liked.
that's one that I still have to watch. There, it's been on my watch list. I haven't watched it just yet. Um,
It,
but yeah, that's definitely on my to-do list as far as movies to watch for sure.
it's playing on Shutter. It's good. It's very. I mean, it's very. Don't expect what the character to do to make any sense, but I still like the movie. It's kind of like it's kind of like Suspiria. I just rewatched Suspiria, which I think is a
Okay.
which I think is a great movie, but it doesn't. The plot is kind of rudimentary. You know, the plot is kind of like not the point of the movie.
That was kind of like, those so a lot of those Italian horror movies, which I'm a big fan of, but they almost use the visuals in a lot of ways to tell the story of what's going on versus having having the story laid out for you, I guess, in a more traditional way. But okay, because I'm a big fan of Suspiria, so I'll definitely have to check out Messiah of Evil for sure.
It also the movie also does a lot of interesting things with color, which I thought was interesting. And there's a room 237 in the movie, so which I thought was funny. There's a hotel room. It's 237. So I was like, oh, did Stanley Kubrick see? I'm sure he didn't, but it was just funny that the room number is the same. So those are like the kinds of details I like when I'm watching the movies. You know what I mean? Because after you see it the first time, it's not as you start looking for other stuff, and the other stuff is what I always think is interesting.
Oh yeah, excellent, excellent. Well, one thing I was going to bring up. Do you have, we always have like those certain movies we like to watch during a certain part of the year, like around Halloween time or Christmas time. When is there like certain horror movies you enjoy watching on your birthday, for example?
Yeah, let's see. Let me think. Well, I mean, I like watching Halloween around Halloween.
Right, right.
uh, Jaws, I think, is a summer movie. You know, it's a good movie to watch. I'll watch that around the Fourth of July because it's. I mean, I think Jaws is one of the greatest horror movies ever. You know, that was ever made.
Oh, I
Uh,
agree.
Gremlins around Christmas because it's a very holiday cheer movie. You know, The Thing. Winter is a great time to watch The Thing. I also like the original Thing that I guess John Carpenter um, enjoyed. He liked the original one also. Um, so yeah, that's pretty cool. I was at uh, a convention in Florida, and they had the cast of Halloween there. So they had the guy who played Michael Meyer, uh,
Okay.
the woman who played. She gets killed when he puts the sheet over his head, and
Oh, she played PJ Souls, who
yeah,
plays
yes,
Linda. Yeah.
yeah, and they had the guy who directed Halloween 3 was also there. So they were that was a great panel. They told this joke that Carpenter cast PJ Souls supposedly because of the way she said totally. So and then I watched the movie, and she said totally a bunch of times. So
I'm gonna have to, and I've always said I'm gonna do this. One of these times I watch Halloween, which I typically also like to watch on Halloween night, is I'm gonna get myself whatever liquor of choice, a shot
yeah,
glass, and
and
take a shot every time she says
yeah,
totally, and see how I feel by the end of the
by
movie.
the end, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I also watched one when I was in Florida called Velocipaster, which you know um, I wouldn't exactly recommend it, but you know it was fun to watch. You know, it was about a priest who transforms into a dinosaur and fights ninjas, and it's you know I think it was made on like negative budget. I mean, I think the Blair Witch Project, you know, looks ritzy compared to that movie, but it was
Oh
fun.
wow.
Yeah, well, my cousin watched that movie and he was determined that I was going to see it, so we we watched it. I enjoy watching. I watched some Cronenberg movies over the winter. I think he's good to watch in the winter. I don't, I don't know, but I watched Shivers and I watched Rabbit this winter.
Those are
Um,
two really good ones.
Oh yeah, Rabbit is great. It's very he's way ahead of his time. I guess he's in Ready or Not too, or is he? He's
I don't know. I have not seen. I haven't seen either one of them. So I think I heard. I mean, he will show up just amongst some of the most random movies and show up for like a small part or a cameo. I mean, he was in Jason X
yeah,
for like a
Jason
couple
X. Yeah.
minutes, and he yeah actually had a pretty significant role in Clive Barker's Nightbreed.
Oh
So
yes, he was. He was. I saw that movie in the theater,
oh
and
wow.
I let out an enormous shriek because do you remember the scene where the person opened up the refrigerator? Yeah, I shrieked at that point, and everybody laughed, and then they closed the door, and the killer was there, and then everybody else shrieked. But yeah, I have fun. But that I thought that was a good movie. You know, and Cronenberg is, you know, he's a genius.
Oh, for sure. I kind of like, and it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those few directors, and I haven't seen every one of his movies yet. There's probably, I think some of his more recent ones I haven't seen
Yeah.
yet, but he's one of those directors who some will say hasn't made a bad movie yet. Now, granted, that's always subjective, but you know, each director sometimes has a few duds in their list, but Cronenberg seems to be like more consistent with his movies as far as the quality of the movies and how well they're liked. So,
Yeah, I enjoy watching him. I recently rewatched What We Do in the Shadows, which is a horror comedy, which from New Zealand, which I really like, and I think it's I think it's a really funny movie. Um, and yeah, I mean, you know, I kind of try to around Halloween I'll watch a bunch of the Universal horror movies because I've seen them tons of times. But you know, I got to go to when we were in when I was in Florida, we got to go to Universal Studios, one of the parks, and I got a great Creature from the Black Lagoon mug, which is like awesome. So it beat out the Wolfman. The Wolfman, had a little silver cane at the end, and the creature from the Black Lagoon
Right.
has a claw.
Someone driving 100 miles an hour down my street on a motorcycle.
Oh,
But
they do that in Jersey, believe me.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, they do it here in Texas too. But anyhow, well, excellent. That's very good. Yeah, so it sounds like you've gone to like a few horror conventions. You mentioned the one where some of the people from Halloween were there.
Mhm.
I've gone to a couple. I haven't been as many as I would like to, just because I'm kind of like out in the middle. I'm like far from nowhere and close to, or far from everywhere, close to nowhere. I'd like to say. So traveling gets to be a pain, but I do enjoy those. Are there any other like horror conventions coming up that you might attend? Because I know they have quite a few in New Jersey.
Well, the one I went to in Florida was MegaCon, so that was
Hmm.
good. And they actually had a room where they screened horror movies all day. So I got to watch a horror movie, a British horror movie about it was about dentistry. Believe it or not, like the guy's teeth were bad. It wasn't like it was free, so that was good. But I mean, it wasn't a wonderful movie. But in Jersey, there's Chiller Theater,
Hmm.
which is twice a year in April and October, and that used to be where I got in the '90s. That's where I got a lot of the the bootleg videos. Like you couldn't. That was my introduction to Dario Argento. Was like,
Okay.
and I was like, this stuff is awful because like the the bootleg quality was always awful,
Oh yeah.
and the movie was like gibberish. But um, yeah, there's also one in Hershey Park that I go to every year, which is fun. I saw. So yeah, actually there are a lot in this area. There are a lot of there's a lot of horror conventions, which is good. It makes me happy.
Yeah, I've got a couple I'm debating on. There is going to be one in Dallas, Texas Frightmare. That's like one of the biggest ones they have, but I don't know if I want to deal with the crowds. They have a smaller one in Oklahoma City, which is actually closer to where I live, so I might go to that one in July, perhaps. So just gotta wait and see. I've been to one in Denver and one in Las Vegas, so far. So I met Kane Hodder a couple times.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he was great. I think he was in that Friday the 13th movie that Kyle made me watch for the Scare Stack. Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah, he would have been in that one, both as himself and as Jason.
Yeah,
Well, not as though he plays one of the
yeah,
security guards. So,
yeah. That movie was truly wretched. It's
yeah, it was not the best, but I've also got a chance to meet Malcolm McDowell,
oh, cool.
Ashley Lawrence from the
Yeah.
Hellraiser
Oh, yeah.
movies. Heather Langenkamp plays Nancy in
Sure.
Nightmare on Elm Street. So
Oh, that's great.
amongst amongst some of them. So it's always been fun. Hopefully, I get to go to one. Hopefully, sometime this summer. So
Yeah, it's always fun.
okay, let's see who else we got out there. Yeah, yeah. You know what, Yanni? If you're ready, I can go ahead and bring you on as well. No biggie. Just give me a yay or nay.
I can.
Okay, he's giving me the thumbs up, so we're gonna bring him in.
Ah,
Coming in a little earlier. So I know Yanni, you've been backstage listening to this conversation. Do you have anything you wanted to add so far that we've talked about?
Now, Texas Frightmare, I've always wanted to go to. I'm not gonna lie. That's like one of the life goals.
Well, they have a decent lineup. Well, I know that Oh, Tobin Bell, who plays Jigsaw, will be there as well as
Oh,
Shawnee Smith. So that would be like the two main reasons for me wanting to go. Even if I just went up for the day and came back the next night, I didn't. If I didn't go the whole weekend, I just know that one there gets super. From what I understand, gets super packed. So
in the crowd there.
I don't do really. If I did, I probably would go on a Sunday. Within the crowd, I would not go on a Saturday, but which I've kind of learned that you on Saturdays is when you hang out with the vendors. Friday nights
Yeah.
and Sundays is when you go try and find your autographs because the crowds aren't as big.
No, yes. Even some of the conventions around here, that's exactly what we do. Just go on a Saturday, go or not Saturday, but go on a Sunday. It's
Yeah,
so much easier.
the little the little well, they're not even horror cons, just comic cons they have here in Amarillo. It's like I don't know why anyone would do a weekend pass. You could literally walk around there in about 3 to 4 hours. That's all you really need to check out everything, really. But
I went to one in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, one of the little cons you were talking about, and the helicopter zombie from Dawn of the Dead was there. Yeah, and he was giving away. He was giving away. Well, he wasn't giving. He was selling, pictures of him as helicopter zombie and signing them. So it was pretty cool. He's at a lot of those. So
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah, I think around here all we get are just um, comic book guys that mostly come to our cons around here. 'Cause
where?
I do a lot of the ads for them.
Oh,
So
cool. Where are you from? Where are you located around?
I am down in the unfortunate third world country of South Carolina.
guys. Well, I haven't been to South Carolina, so I can't speak to it. I just hear Charleston sounds like a cool little town to visit.
Charleston's
But
fun.
yeah,
Charleston's fun, but unfortunately the home of Lindsey Graham. Yeah, we're not proud. Well, I won't drag politics into it. Don't worry.
another time there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I for the life of me don't understand why anyone would vote for him, but
You've seen his opponents.
I haven't. So it must be some real winners. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, cool. I think here's a fun story I had at a con, and this was in Denver about almost 3 years ago. So they had it at like the Grand Hyatt downtown Denver. So it's later in the evening. It was just me and my son that went. Well, he was like going off, falling asleep. He was probably 13 at the time. So I said, well, I'm going to go down. They had a huge lobby bar down there and a full restaurant. So I decided, well, I'll go down, have a couple drinks, watch what's ever on TV. I think the hockey playoffs were going on at the time. And I'm sitting down and I didn't notice it. But on the right of me is actor William Forsythe, sitting right next to me on my right. On my left is Bill Moseley,
Whoa.
Oh,
and off to his left is Tyler Maine. So I'm sitting right here in the middle of these guys, just having a few drinks with them and just talking to them like they're all, or just like we're all regular guys. Also, the guy who played the Wishmaster, I think his name Andrew Divitz, I think,
Yes.
was also up there. So it's like all of us were up there. I think there was like another regular person up there, but it was really a fun time because we were it was just like it wasn't like you were sitting next to someone super famous. It was just talking with a bunch of regular people, really. And I think me and William Forsythe was just mainly talking about playoff hockey or whatever. We're talking about the game. So, all right, that's right. Brian Wolford, Andrew Divith or Divith. Yeah, okay. Thank you for the correction there. But yeah, all great guys. So that was like a fun time that I had.
Oh yeah. Well, let me ask both of you, since this still seems to be a very, very hot button topic right now in the horror community at large. Um, this whole boycotting of Shudder because they got rid of the last drive-in. What do y'all think about that?
yeah. Oh,
Uh,
did they get rid of them?
Yeah, they they announced that they've basically that was it. Like cut out of a few specials. That that's going to be it for the regular shows for the last drive-in. And matter of fact, Joe Bob's already said that on his social media that he's already shopping the show around.
Well, I uh, I still subscribe to Shutter. I think they have a huge selection that is really good. So, and I enjoy Joe Bob and Darcy. I think they're good. I enjoy especially I watched, they had that 24-hour marathon when they started, and they
Yeah.
watched the stuff with like the Legend of Boggy Creek where they they sang that song that they sing in the Legend. So yeah, I'm a Joe Bob fan, but I do I still subscribe to Shutter. I mean,
Um, I'm myself not going to unsubscribe from. I actually get them through AMC Plus because that gives me AMC Plus plus a few other stuff along with Shutter. But hey, if people want to, I'm never going to tell someone not to boycott something. Um, but I think it's only a matter of time. It may take a year or so for contracts to finalize and all that. But I think we had this brief conversation on the last show.
Yeah,
He'll find another network. I would be pretty sure,
I think
whoever that ends up being.
I think if Tubi ever ended up with the last drive-in, it might be over for every other horror streamer at that point.
Yeah, if that happens, and we've got our next guest coming to us, and this is her second appearance. She showed up on our Friday the 13th special last month, and we have Skyla joining us from Florida. How you doing, Skyla?
Hi.
Hi.
How is everyone?
We're doing fine.
Yeah.
And see, you've obviously met Yanni. I don't think you've met George yet, but George, Skyla, we're
Hi,
supposed to
George.
be on Substack. And with Skyla, I think what really got you on my radar is your review that you had done for, I think it was the Friday the 13th remake. I think you're the one that started that whole thing off. Like, wow, that is really good. I'm needing another person for this upcoming show. I think I'm going to drop her a message and see if she'll say yes. And she agreed against her better judgment, but maybe she agreed to come back on again. So, uh, but how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing really good. I'm excited to be here.
Excellent. Well, one of the reasons I wanted to have you back on is I wanted to hear more about, because last time we were just mainly talking about our favorite women of Friday the 13th. So wanted to hear a little bit more about yourself. Where did your love of horror start?
When I was a kid, like probably six,
Hmm.
which is when I shouldn't have been watching horror movies. But my dad would always do like horror marathons with me, and that's kind of where it started. Which, funny enough, the movies I started with were like Hellraiser, which
God, and you saw it earlier than I, because I saw Hellraiser when I was like 13 or 14, I think, when I saw that. So, and I thought I saw it young. You were watching it at 6 or
yeah.
7.
I remember I had a very vivid nightmare of Pinhead and chasing my family down a hallway because of that movie. So,
Well, that's wonderful. So that was kind of your gateway a little bit. Well,
definitely.
what are some of I mean, give me like a list. What are like some of your maybe top 2 or 3 favorite horror movies of all time?
I would say mine are American Psycho, They Live, and the Evil Dead franchise just as a whole.
Hmm.
I can't pick one Evil Dead, so I just say the franchise.
I'll say this for the Evil Dead, and grant they've have not counting the series, out of the movies they've released, and they'll have another one out sometime I think this summer. Every single one of them's really good. They've only
Yeah,
have like 5 of them, but maybe that's like the formula. Don't do 12. They just kind of keep them spaced out over time. But Yeah, that's one of the more consistently good, I think, franchises. Because even though my favorite franchise is Hellraiser, I will admit there's a few stinkers in that franchise, and there's a few stinkers in Halloween as well as Friday the 13th might be a bit more consistent. 'Cause there's only really one or two movies I don't really care much for, but good, good. So what made you start? How long have you been on Substack now?
I think I want to say 2, maybe 3 years.
Oh wow, okay.
Not entirely sure. I feel like it's around that area though.
And what made you want to start a Substack page?
I feel like so at the time at my job, I was in that phase of wow, I really hate my job so much. I need some kind of outlet. So
Okay.
I decided, well, I like horror movies. What can I do with that? And I was like, all right, let's start writing about them, I guess. And that was basically it.
Just start. That was kind of with me a little bit. I mean, as far as why I even started writing in the first place is just because jobs I've had have been so. Not that I hate them, they're just very mundane, and it feels like
Yeah.
I'm only using one side of my brain. So I wanted to get in writing to kind of use that more, I guess, artistic side, and that kind of led me into writing, and then eventually, of course, into Substack. So, what do you have like a specific approach when you're writing something about a movie when you do a post on Substack?
Yeah. And especially now, since I kind of rebranded
Mm-hmm.
Slasher as a whole, now it's more so like, how can I connect this movie or media? It's not always a movie, but how can I connect this horror thing to real life systems or issues that are going on within our everyday lives? So that's been kind of fun to figure out with certain things.
Well, yeah, because that's something I think horror has done really from the very beginning. Because I
Yeah.
don't know what was going on at the time when Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein, but obviously it prompted her to write a cautionary tale about the dangers of playing God for all intents and purposes, and it's kind of been like that ever since. And of course, you mentioned John Carpenter's "They Live," which certainly has themes to it that might even resonate more today than it did thir- almost 40 years ago now.
Yeah.
So good. Well, let's see here. Here I'll ask all three of you here, and I'll start with George. What's a new, and you may have already answered this, but because you had talked about wanting to watch Midsummer and The Witch coming up soon. Is there anything else you got coming up for your Substack page that you plan on writing about?
Sure. When Evil Lurks, which is it's directed by the same person who did Terrified. Uh, I might do Horror Hotel, which is a Christopher Lee movie, black and white 1960s. That the movie is really, really good and really, really bad at the same time. It has like this great atmosphere, but the acting is not all that good. So let me see. I'm not going to do. I'm going to. Well, The Wicker Man, obviously, because folk horror, you have to do The Wicker Man. The original, not.
I was going to ask the original or the Nicolas Cage version.
No, no, Nick Cage. And I just reviewed V, which is a based on
Oh
a
wow!
story by Gogol, and it's the I think it was the first Soviet Union horror movie, and it might
Oh
be
really?
yeah, it might be the last Soviet Union horror movie, but it's good. It's a '60s movie, and the animation, the creature effects at the end are really really good. So that's what I'm doing.
Okay, really, that sounds really good. Skyla, what are you going to be working on coming up here soon?
I have for this week. I have one coming up about like the myths and folklore in the Appalachian Mountains.
Okay.
Uh, and then I also have a collaboration coming up with the Godzilla papers about a kind of Godzilla fan series called The Man in the Suit. So,
Oh wow.
yeah.
I was gonna say those were some early movies that kind of, as I was, went from watching the old Universals, I was really big into watching those 1950s, 60s Godzilla movies there. So that should be interesting. Uh, Yanni, you've been pretty busy. It looks like every Saturday night you've been doing live streams on
Yeah.
Substack.
Two trash pandas and a microphone. The raunchiest, I guarantee you, it's the raunchiest podcast you've ever heard.
I caught some of it a few weeks ago, and then I had to get going for interview. But yeah, what was that? Dirty White Girl? Is it? That's her name, isn't
Yeah,
it?
Bobby Lynn.
Bobby Lynn.
Yeah, Dirty White Trash. Yes, that is legitimately her name. That's what she calls herself. So,
Really, because you were saying someone actually called you guys both, even though you really aren't. It's just play the roles of it.
yeah, it did. That actually really was the genesis of the name. Somebody called White Trash on, comment. And it's like, okay, all right, Bozo, we're gonna make money off of you. So that's where that came from. Yeah, Oceana, Tippenhart, and I have a few things cooking. And I know we've done a bad job of hiding it, but yes, we are dating. To answer the rumors.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Well,
that's
wonderful.
yeah, that's my girlfriend, and yes, we've been in a pretty hard relationship now for about 2 weeks. Um, as for what I'm writing, I'm doing. We're still doing Horror University, and we're working. This is found footage month for Horror University, so next
I've
week.
seen that.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun to write that article. Next week it's going to be the history and evolution of found footage. So we'll not just talk about Blair Witch, but things like Ghost Watch and obviously Cannibal Holocaust is eventually going to have to come up here somewhere. So
Okay, well that sounds good there. And are you like? Seems like are you putting some of these things also on your YouTube channel yet?
yeah,
Or
I'm going to. It's all about now. I'm in the middle of editing that, and
hmm
I'm going to do the same thing that a couple other Substackers have started doing as well, which is reading. Like, I'm not going to
hmm
rely on Substack's AI voice. I'm just going to read my articles.
I have thought about doing that. I just don't want. I can barely listen to my own voice on these channels. I don't know if I want to do that. Reading some of my posts or whatnot, but
Yeah.
I need to hire a voice actor.
Well,
So
I've
it's
been in the
like
radio
more.
business for 20 years, so if anybody wants, anybody needs voiceover projects, let me know.
That's true. Well, you do have a good voice for it, so that's
Yeah.
good. Good. So we're all getting there. One thing we were talking about, Skyla, when you came on, is have you been to any horror conventions?
I've been to Scaradise, which it used to be. It used to have another name, and I can't remember what it used to be called. Spookala. It used to be called Spookala, but they
Okay.
rebranded it to Scaradise. So I've been to that one. I want to go to more, but that one I.
Yeah, that's what we were kind of talking about. Who were like some of the celebrities that were there at that one? Do you remember?
Matthew Lillard. It was most of the screen because Matthew Lillard was there. Skeet Ulrich was there. Those were mile-long lines, so I didn't see them. Um, who else was there? I think it was. It's one of the bigger horror conventions, so I'm sure there was a lot more. Those are just the two right off the top of my head I can remember.
So, well, here's a question there, and I'm not as big of a fan of the Scream franchise, but that's the newest movie seems to be. It made a lot of money. It's opened a weekend and had a big drop off. So,
I heard that.
have you seen Scream 7 yet, or?
No, because I saw that. I was like, oh. I don't know if it's worth going to pay money and see it. So I've been kind of like, I'll wait for it to, eh, I don't know.
I think it's going to start streaming here in a couple weeks. I think read something or saw something on some social media that they're due to start streaming soon. So that wasn't. So even though it's like had the biggest, I guess, opening weekend of any Scream franchise, like I said, it dropped off because it doesn't sound like it's been very well received. So I don't know, George or Yanni, if you'd seen it or heard anything about it, or if it's anything you guys were looking to check
I,
out.
after the first Scream, I kind of checked out. I wasn't really into Scream back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So
I I saw the first one in the theater, and that's it. That was it. And I really liked it. I got to see Henry Winkler. I mean, that was awesome. And I thought it was a really awesome movie, the first one. And then, I mean, you can't blame them that made a bundle of money. So just, keep making them. And then usually what happens is that, the quality goes, so.
I am kind of with them. I like the first, and I like the second one. But after the first two, it kind of felt like, let's stop. We can stop it now. It's okay. We can let it die, I promise. It'll be okay.
They never let something die after two movies. Very rarely that I can think of. But
is it going to make us more money? Come on.
yeah, yeah, that's exactly what. And was that? I'm trying to think if was that a. I think that was another franchise that at the time was owned by Dimension Films, who were of course run by two brothers whom we will not name for obvious reasons. So yeah, because they were also making, they had the rights to Halloween, they got their grubby hands on Hellraiser, and so they had like three big franchises at one time. I'm pretty sure Scream was part of Dimension Films as well.
Didn't they also do I Know What You Did Last Summer?
That I don't know, but it
They
wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
they did The Burning, which is
Oh, yeah, they
Yeah.
did. That was before Dimension Films was
yeah,
even. But yes, the brothers Grimm, did I think put the money up for the
yeah.
burning.
Great practical effects in that movie. That was the best part of the movie. Was Savini? I think that was Tom Savini. His effects.
Yes, it was
Yeah,
because he had turned down coming back to do Friday the 13th Part Two because he ended up agreeing already to take the job with the burning.
which
So.
which was George Costanza from Seinfeld was in that. So,
Jason Alexander,
yeah,
yes, he was in that.
you could tell it was like he had the same personality in that movie, and
Had a little bit more hair,
yeah,
but
he survived too. So
yeah, yeah, it was amazing how many people. I mean, there was a lot of people that they had a big cast anyway, but they killed off maybe about a third of them. Maybe the boat scene, where he must have took out about 6 or 7 people, I think at least, right off the bat. So. Wow, good
yeah.
one there. So I think let's see here. Anything here in the comments today? Nothing new here. We do have about 3 people as of right now watching, so thank you for watching in. We're just talking about anything and everything horror, kind of. Here, Skyla, we were talking about certain movies we like to watch during the course of the year. Is there a movie you like when you like to watch every year, say on your birthday, for example?
Well, it used to be American Psycho because that is my favorite movie. So I would just watch that on my
Mm-hmm.
birthday. And then, like, during Christmas, I usually go to Silent Night, Deadly Night, or something like that, which the new one was really good. I don't know if
Okay,
anyone
I
has
haven't
seen that
seen that.
one.
I haven't yet, but
It
I think
was great. Like, I loved it.
let's see here. I was gonna say with American Psycho, it sounds like they're wanting to do a remake of
Yeah.
American Psycho. I don't know if you had heard about that, and I forget who it is that for some reason I'm thinking that Blumhouse is doing it. I don't know for sure. I could be wrong on that. Your
I don't
thoughts?
want that.
No,
No.
I don't know who they would have play Christian Bale's character in
I
that.
I heard rumors of Austin Butler, the guy who played Elvis,
Okay.
and I'm just like, no, that's not. I don't know. I'm one of those people where there are certain films where I do think like it should never be remade.
Hmm.
And that's one of those ones where I'm like, Christian Bale is Christian Bale. Kind of hard to top that, honestly. So,
Yeah, I can't really think of any actors nowadays that could jump in and play that role. Um, so yeah,
Not
you
that
know,
good.
it was kind of like when
yeah.
they did the. It's kind of like when they did the Crow remake. It's like,
Oh my
why
god.
are you even trying to do that?
That also pissed me off. I didn't even watch that movie.
Oh, I didn't either. I wasn't
I
going to.
pretend it didn't exist.
And I
Hard,
like Bill
hard pass.
Skarsgård, but I'm just not gonna. I mean, if they had
Yeah.
made like if they wanted to do another sequel, fine, make another sequel, do something different, but don't try a remake. I mean, The Crow's a damn near perfect movie. Maybe, possibly, if I think about it, probably my favorite movie of the whole decade of the '90s. So, and I don't know if I consider that horror or not. I guess it kind of is a little bit.
It's horror
So
adjacent, I feel.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it certainly has that gothic feel to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, about a guy coming back from the dead. So yeah, I think it's horror enough. We'll say.
The graphic novel leans a lot more into the horror elements by J. O. Barr.
Oh, yeah, that's what I've heard, and I need to. Well, not like I don't have tons of other things to be trying to read, but I would have to do a little bit of a dive into those to see how those play out
I actually
because I
met
know
one
there's.
of the artists that did the Crow comic.
Oh
And the only
wow.
reason I had met him, we were at a con, and I was dressed up as the Crow. And I didn't even realize he was there, and he came up to me and was like, "Oh my god, I have to get a picture of you. I did the art for that." So that was kind of cool. Uh, literally did not even know he was going to be there at all. So,
What was fun? It was just about a couple years ago. I think that they did do a re-release. They released The Crow for its 30th anniversary in the theaters, so I was like all on that and took my wife and kids. We all went because the kids hadn't even seen it yet, so that was kind of great to share that experience with them to see The Crow for the first time.
that's cool. I was able to see the Friday the 13th in theaters for its anniversary last year,
Okay,
which that was crazy.
was that
Because they,
was
sorry,
that
you
for
go
the
ahead.
original one then?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and what was crazy is they had put us in the wrong theater at first. So I went in with my friend, and we're sitting down, and all of a sudden the movie starts, and it's like a cave couple. It was a caveman proposing, and I was like, "What is this? I don't remember this in the movie." It ended up being The Materialist, and I was like, "Oh!" So I had to go all the way back up front and tell the guy, like, "Hey, I think my ticket has the wrong theater."
Oh god. Yeah, you're probably thinking, what is this a special extended edition of like previously re-released scenes here?
Literally, I was like, "Is this a short film? Are they doing something weird here? I don't know."
It's all the outtakes.
Yeah. Fun. Um so
I,
what was your take too, Skyla, on are you someone who's watched followed Joe Bob Briggs a lot on Shudder, his show?
You know, I actually I haven't really. I need to because I know people say really good things about it,
Hmm.
but I need to get a Shudder subscription, even though that seems like a crazy thing to say as a horror fan to not have one.
Not crazy. Well, yeah, well, all of his stuff is still on there. I mean, his
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
catalog's still on there, even though they're no longer doing any more new episodes. It sounds like, but one thing I've liked about watching him is particularly if he's doing a movie I have, well, even if it's one I have seen, but specifically he's doing one that I haven't seen yet. He does a lot of good. He talks a lot about the movie and gives you a lot of in-depth information about the making of the movie and what
Oh.
went on behind the scenes. And oftentimes he'll have, either the director or one of the actors that was in the movie might have them on set to discuss the movie. So yeah, I would definitely recommend checking that out, at least while those episodes are still
Yeah.
there. So I think
Yeah,
you can
that does
even get
seem
probably a free trial, even for like a week or whatever it
true.
is, and you can like
You
binge watch when you have like a week to do that.
There's
Yeah, I
usually just about every other month on Amazon because you can get it through Prime too or
Hmm.
Amazon Video. They usually have it for about half off for about 2 months.
Oh, okay. That would be good. I
Yeah, and
remember
Shudder's not
when
that much anyway. It's like seven, $8, I think.
when it first came out and it was like super cheap, like even cheaper than that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think it was like 4.99 or
Yeah,
something,
it's
maybe
five
cheaper. I don't
bucks.
remember. I just remember all the YouTubers, like horror YouTubers, were always getting sponsorships from them, and we're like, "Hey, there's a streaming service just for horror movies now." I was like, "Oh," which now it's owned by AMC, but
Right. Hence why their prices go up there too. So probably because they've. I don't know. Well, here's the thing. We're talking about all these streaming services. Is Let me ask: Is it a done deal? Is Paramount? Is it a done deal that Paramount's buying Warner Brothers, or do we know yet? Or because first it was going to be Netflix, and then it was going to be Paramount. Is it still up in the air on that?
If the FCC would do their job,
It wouldn't.
this wouldn't happen.
Right.
But you know, I have thought,
Well,
but it's probably gonna happen next year. I think like it'll fully go next year, which I again I have thoughts, but I really don't want this to happen.
Well, I mean, just on the pure thing of how many other services and media companies Paramount owns already. I mean, if that's not a monopoly, I don't know what is. I mean, the only bad thing I think about Netflix buying Warner Brothers is you're going to see less movies in the theaters because that just isn't Netflix's model. But that could also mean more independent films, particularly independent horror films, might find their way in the theater. So maybe that wouldn't be such a bad thing because it's not like Warner Brothers has made really anything good in the last 10 years or whatever. At least it doesn't seem like it anyway. I mean, I suppose the Joker, but
But the thing is, look what we've seen. I think we talked about this on the last podcast too. Um, Markiplier.
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
Now you can actually release your movies on YouTube, and maybe you can perfect your craft on YouTube with like short movies and everything else, and then get something into theaters when you have enough of a following. I think
that's
I think the
actually what
Markiplier.
happened with the Backrooms, the
Yeah,
new Backrooms movie coming out.
Backrooms
That
is another
started
one.
as an online series.
Yep. So I think that's what if you want to see the future of independent film, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I think that's where it's kind of going because a lot of these movies that they're making, not all, but most of them, they're spending this ridiculous amount of money on these films, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, and and they're losing money left and right. Meanwhile, you can invest maybe $1 million on a horror movie, and it's going to make 20 times its money back, or at least 10 times its money back, or any other small independent film, whatever genre it happens to be. So, we'll probably start seeing a renaissance of new wave of indie filmmakers like we saw first in the 70s, then in the 90s, and probably happen again.
Totally agree with that. I think it's happening right now, actually.
Going to take myself off real quick here and bring Kyle in. Is he ready yet? No, I don't think so. I'll be right. You guys talk amongst yourselves here.
Yeah.
Come on in, Kyle. Hmm. Dogs do great. Dogs do great podcast, Kyle. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
it's
I would
it's
say good to see you, but I can't see you.
yeah. It's
So,
good to hear you.
We should probably point out. We should, we should probably point out to everybody on YouTube right now. Kyle is backstage, so they probably can't hear Kyle yet. So we're all like, we're talking to this disembodied voice and awkwardly smiling on camera, but um, so we got Josh on the phone on backstage. This is great.
It's just
Oh,
he's just like later.
no, you don't. There we go. All right. Um. There we go.
Yeah, I'm back. I had to shoo the dogs back in. They're just not behaving tonight. Normally oftentimes will be good, but I think they're just all hyped up here. So let's
Podcast
see
gets a little
here.
too rowdy. Is that what's going on?
I guess. Let's see if Kyle's ready to come on
Yeah.
yet. I think
Kyle
he's
says he's
just
having some issues with his camera.
issues. Okay, well we'll just take him back out whenever he's ready to come on in. I can hear you.
Here, and I can see everybody else. I just unfortunately my camera's technically on, but it's just staying in the black screen there for some reason. So
Okay, well we'll just refer to you as the Invisible Man for the rest of the
yeah,
night.
I'm in
did
character.
you
I'm in
did
character.
you give your browser like the permission to use your camera?
I thought I did, but I thought I hit yes when it asked that's a good question, for the mic and the video, but maybe I
Well,
didn't.
that,
That may be, that may be it. While we're chatting, I'm gonna do some investigative work. And see if I can get this permission here without knocking myself off of it. So,
awesome. Well, okay, good. Kyle's joined us, kind of, sort of, halfway here, but yeah. Let's see here. Let's see here. Random topic. If you could, all right. Let's say if you could play any. If you're put in a horror movie, would you want to be the killer or one of the victims?
Oh, actually,
Yeah.
I've
if,
thought of, I've
do we have to be a victim that dies?
yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah. You're
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, you all go first. I'm gonna think about this.
okay.
For me, it would be the cameraman in Peeping Tom. That's
That's a
exactly
good
who I,
one.
That's who I'd want to be, because I always thought that's one of the coolest ways. And you're talking about 1960s. All he did was put a poker on top of the camera. But I think it's a very unique way to kill people.
Uh huh.
That's the way he. I know that's the way he died at the end of the movie. Was he just slammed the poker into his head? But I just think a lot of voyeurism is a great way to kill. You know.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I'm like trying to think of like a death scene that I would think it would be a cool way to go out and hmm. I know if I went out, if you're gonna go, I don't know. I'd probably want to be a Cenobite and Hellraiser. I mean, yeah, I would want to be
We all want to
Pinhead. Who am I
Okay.
kidding? You know,
We all want to be a demon, and yes, we all want to be a Cenobite.
yeah,
The
so why
ultimate.
not? I mean, and I'll even settle for being Chatterer. Even that's fine with me. Or, of course, right now some people might say, or my wife might say, Butterball. 'Cause I've put on a few pounds over the years, but. What about you, Skyla? How would you want to be a monster, the villain, or do you want to be one of the victims and just go out in the bloody glory?
Uh, let me think. I think I'm gonna go with John Kramer. I want to be John Kramer from Saw, because at least like he's killing people and that's demented, but he kind of has a morality to it, you know?
Well, I mean, these people do kind of have it coming to them a little
Yeah,
bit, so yeah, I like that. I
Our
like
Lord and
that.
Savior John Kramer.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's a good one. What about you, George? Anything that comes to
Yeah,
your mind?
when I was in ninth grade, I for Halloween I dressed up as Michael Myers and went to school, and so yeah, it'd be Michael Myers, and then they took away the knife because I brought a knife with me, and the principal was like, "Is that a real knife?" And I was like, "Yeah, don't worry, I won't stab anybody." He's like, "Yeah, I know. Give it to me." And they gave it back to me at the end of the day, and it was so yeah. I always thought Michael Myers was really cool. So
We didn't have plastic play knives back
no,
in the day. We
it was
just
a
played
butcher
with
knife.
real knives.
You see, kids, before certain activities happened in 1999, we could get away with a little
Yeah,
bit.
it was like 1982, so
Yeah.
it was a totally different world.
Hey, George would be. We wouldn't see George for like 10. You would be
Yeah,
Michael Myers coming
yeah,
out
I would
15
be
years later.
basically.
Kyle's getting his audio or visual issues worked out
Yeah,
here.
I checked and it shows that my camera settings are. And again, I don't want to make this all about my camera or whatever. It's not that big of a deal. But like, I went to my camera settings and it's on. So like, maybe let me do this. Is it cool if I jump off and try to redo it again?
Sure,
And you bring me back on? Is that cool?
sure. Let me go ahead and take you out there, and you work on that. Okay, Kyle said the Terminator. I'm like, that's a good one, and I consider the first Terminator definitely to be a horror film. Definitely, if you want. I mean, I'm guessing James Cameron, when he made that movie, was probably a big fan of Halloween, and possibly, I'm sure, just if you look at Arnold's, just the whole progression of it, it's very Michael Myers esque. The
Yeah.
way the Terminator moves, the way he
Yeah.
kind of stalks people, and just and you've got the trope: if you have sex, you die. Well, at least, well, not really, because
Well, he
Sarah at
died.
least lives, but her roommate and her roommate's boyfriend didn't. So
Well, I mean, you can have AI screw the entire country and we all die.
yeah,
I
James
mean,
Cameron told us this over 40 years ago.
that's what I'm waiting. That's what I'm waiting on is the AI to take over our nuclear launch systems, and the last thing we see before we all die in nuclear hellfire is James Cameron popping up on the screen going, "Told you."
Oh my god.
I told you. Yeah, we're going to need Sarah Connor, definitely. I hope Linda Hamilton's staying in shape. She looked like she was still in pretty good shape, even though I didn't see the last Terminator movie. She looked like, wow, she could still whip some serious ass. So,
I kept seeing people making jokes about like the gas prices being astronomical right now, and being like, if a nuke comes down right now, I don't have to worry about the gas prices anymore.
that's true. That's true. I think, there hasn't been like a good. I remember in the 80s, and George, you're probably going to remember this. There was like a wave of these, because this during the height of the Cold War, of these type of movies dealt with the nuclear holocaust. There was a movie, and I think it was like the first
The Day
official
After
PG.
Tomorrow.
Well, there was that.
Yeah, the
That
day
was like
after.
a mini series, but you also had Red Dawn.
Yeah, I Red Dawn, where the Russians invaded California. Yeah.
Yeah, with Patrick Swayze, I think was in that. That might have been one of his earlier roles. Uh,
Wolverines.
but yeah, it made me think of that, because I think that was like the first movie to get a PG-13 rating when they first came out with that rating, was Red Dawn, I think. Can't remember who else was in that. It's been
Oh my god.
decades since I've seen it.
You talking about when you were talking about nuclear films there too? I mean, yeah, you had The Day After in the U.S., but Threads.
Yeah, that's English, right? Is that
Yeah,
English?
Yeah.
it's English. It was all in Sheffield, and I'm telling you right now, if you have not seen Threads, it's going to take you a few sit downs to watch that, because I guarantee you, there's a lot of people that cannot finish that movie. Not in one sitting.
Yeah, I've heard of that, and I haven't seen it yet. And I'll have to look it up, and I'll have to add another one to the watch list or whatever. But which is fine.
There's
We'll
the
get-
movie with Matthew Broderick where they play
War
chess.
games.
War games. They play chess with the computer. So I mean, that's kind of AI also.
So there's a fun fact about that. Did y'all know in the Strokes music video for, I think it was their only hit, there's actually a scene from War Games in it.
Oh,
But
cool.
it's a blink and you miss it moment, but it's right where the computer starts playing tic-tac-toe,
Yeah.
and they actually pop that on the screen for a couple of seconds. I think it was a song called Last Night, I think is the name of the song. But yeah, it's in there for like a second.
Oh wow, that's that'd be something. Yeah, I wonder if we're going to start seeing more of those type of movies coming out again.
I was thinking that.
I think horror is in for a big renaissance, actually, because I always wondered what's going to replace like the superhero movies, which have kind of like peaked, and I think it might be horror movies because I think it's because of the times we live in, and it's
Yeah, because
I agree.
people can
I think-
relate.
I think I wrote about this like a long time ago, but it made me think of this when 9/11 happened. Horror movies kind of had a moment where they went up because everyone was like, "Oh, we
yeah,
already live in hell, so might as well escape to something worse." I guess like people just were relating to. And it was also when all of the horror movies that were more brutal were coming out.
Sure.
Like Saw and Hostel, those types of movies, because
Rob Zombie's movies
Yeah.
came out around that time. You had the
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake came out around that time. So
And zombie movies became really big, and I think
Yeah.
I can't take credit for this because someone else said it, but like there was a lot of stuff in the news with 9/11, after 9/11, with people like staggering through the dust, and
Yeah.
they kind of look like zombies, and like maybe that image imprinted itself into.
You think about it, 28 days later, actually came out of the whole Fox News, CNN throwing everything in our face all the time type deal. That was part of the message of 28 Days Later was we're being too bombarded with
Yeah.
negativity and evil and violence on the news every night, and which I think, by the way, are still some of the most brilliant movies made. Were 28 Days Later.
I love the first one, except the only problem I have is at the end, like the blood is so like if you get a little bit of it, you become a zombie. At the end of the movie, the guy's covered in blood.
He's covered in blood.
And he's fine. He's like, oh yeah, I'm fine. Okay.
Oh man.
Wow.
But we got a bunch of gritty 80s horror too. I mean, like a lot of people don't I mean, like when we were living under Reagan, that's when a lot of the slashers, like the big slashers, were coming out.
Yeah, and I think with the slashers, and this really started obviously around I'd go back to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That was about at the time the economy. Of course, I can't remember a time when the economy was actually ever really good, but it was really bad around the 70s.
Yeah.
And, that was a microcosm of that. And all these slasher movies came out because it was during that phase where we're getting all these famous serial killers.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you had this thing where, okay, maybe if I do live in a small town or I live in a suburb or I'm just going to camping, which is all considered safe, maybe those things aren't so safe anymore, and the violence has now left the inner city urban areas and is spreading all across the country. And those, I think, were probably why one of the reasons anyway why slasher movies were becoming so popular. Well, there's several reasons for it, but there was that, and I would say, and I know Kimberly will agree with this when she comes on later, but I'm sure Skylar would believe there's also became a strong feminist message
Yes.
in those movies
Yeah.
as well, and also from a male perspective, a lesson to be learned that we can be victims too if we don't get out of the way and get with the program too. So something I always got out of those movies was it taught me to be a little bit more empathetic, I think, towards what women go through. And I think that's why in my own writings, I often focus on having both a male and female protagonist to show them in a positive light how maybe we should be working together, and not succumbing to the normal authoritarian crap that happens since the beginning of time. So there's my 2 cents into it. But.
And I also think we're gonna see like a big explosion of queer horror coming up here
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah.
a couple of years too, because I think what you got now, and hey, anybody out there that's like, oh, keep the politics out of it. I'm sorry, kids. Horror's political. Get over it. The way this administration has treated queer people, in particular, I think what you're going to see is a lot of angry, pro-queer horror movies coming out within the next couple of years.
Yeah, and I'm surprised we haven't seen it sooner, for sure. But there's so many different things you could go with right now, and horror. I think horror and its cousin, science fiction, have been the 2 genres that have always been good into bringing certain commentary in an entertaining way, and not necessarily totally in your face, but you're entertained, but then you stop and think, oh, this movie is saying something here. And that's been kind of like it's hard. I mean, I guess sometimes comedies can do that, or have done that in the past as well. You're more so your darker comedies that have like a little bit of satire in them. Monty Pythons, I thought, were always good in doing that with some of their films, particularly The Life of Brian being one of them.
Apropos, you mentioned that on Good Friday.
Yeah, always look on the bright side of life.
Yeah.
My father was in the Roman centurion. What was his name? Nautius Maximus.
I could go on. That's one of the funniest bits, you know.
And Oceana's right. She pointed out in the chat. I always thought zombies were supposed to be an allegory for outsiders in society, which I've seen people interpret that before.
Well, there's lots of things you
Zombies.
could.
Yeah, I think you're about to say exactly what I was about to say. Zombies can be a lot of things.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Romero used them in Night of the Living Dead as a form of consumerism and so forth. That and which one took place in the mall? I always get them confused. That was
Dawn.
That's Dawn of the Dead.
Day of
Yeah.
the Dead. Yeah,
Or
yeah.
Day of the Dead is the third one, like
yeah,
with the army, and then Dawn is
that's right.
in the mall.
In the ball. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Argento was it Dawn of the Living Dead that Argento?
Yes. Yeah, he did.
Yep.
I think that's all of us, Oceana. Uh, she said it's also me without coffee. It's like no, that's all of us.
Yeah, pretty much. I think we had that little bit of a discussion on that this morning, didn't we? Where you posted a post about coffee or whatever. Yeah, that's like a must. It'll be really dangerous for people if I don't get my first cup of coffee in. So, how are you doing, Kyle? It looks like we got everything working over there.
Yeah, it was the switch on top of the laptop. So there's a little switch there that like I didn't even pay
I
attention to. Yeah, I'm an
I
idiot. So
I was wondering if it was maybe like a Switch thing, but I didn't want to say anything.
no, it was totally a switch. So I went back in the settings, and it was like it's reported that this is blocked. And so I went and looked up there, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot there's a switch at the top of the laptop. So it's just a tiny little sliver,
What is
and
it?
it was off. So I'm good. So we're yeah, it's. I don't think many people could have figured that out, so I'm pretty proud of myself for getting it. No, I'm just kidding.
That's the second rule of IT. Have you tried turning it off and then
Yes.
turning it back on again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. So anyway, I'm here. So I missed like everybody's choices. I'm sorry. So can we all go back through it again? No, I'm joking. I'm
No, but
kidding.
I'll let you start. What's a good horror movie you like to watch? Well, okay, let's go back to the last question before you had to drop off. What's if you were in a horror movie, would you want to be the killer or do you want to be one of the victims that die a gruesome death?
Um, I think it would be more fun to be the killer probably if I was literally as like an actor in a movie. The killer that I would want to be though, that is, I was thinking about that, and like Yanni's choice in Peeping Tom is great. Um, Michael Myers was also a really, I mean, there's no better pick than that really in my book. If I was gonna go left turn, I'm trying to think. Um, what about Angela in Sleepaway Camp? No, I'm kidding. No, I'm trying to think who
I was like trying to, I was like thinking to myself whether or
Josh.
not I wanted to
Josh is
picture
like
that or not.
no. Although I love that movie. I could do a whole podcast just on the Sleepaway Camp
That
movies.
that movie is so accurate. Like New Jersey was exactly like that summer camp.
Oh, that is New Jersey, isn't it, George?
Some parts of that were so like not the murders, but like
Right.
when they were playing
Yeah.
softball and stuff like that, and just the way people talked and acted, it was like, yeah,
Yeah, that like 19-minute softball scene
yeah,
that just goes on, just
yeah.
goes on and
You
on.
know, between Sleepaway Camp and the Friday the 13th movies, I'm beginning to think that New Jersey is not the type of state I want to go camping in.
No, you do.
No.
Yeah.
Tromaville is in New Jersey. I mean, you know.
It is.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who's a cool killer is Leslie Vernon is kind of a cool serial killer. You know what I mean? Like, because I mean, like, Leatherface is awesome, right? But like, do you really want to be Leatherface? You know what I mean? Like, I don't really want to,
Oh,
you know.
No.
So yeah, I would say maybe like like a Leslie Vernon or even I mean Freddy Krueger would be a blast, right? Just from like hamming it up and having a good time. So
Oh yeah.
somebody who talks, right? Not just somebody who's just quiet. I think somebody who has a personality, or like Pinhead in those movies. Even like I think okay, I've got it. Voicing Chucky would be my
Oh,
go-to.
there you go.
That's it. That's it. Voicing
I
Chucky right
think, and
there.
I think you could pull that off great, Kyle.
yes.
Well,
Yeah, you
see,
could
George hasn't
definitely.
heard my New Jersey accent impersonations, and I'm not doing it on here. I'm kidding, um, but yeah, because he has such an awesome. Brad Dourif's voice is just perfect, obviously,
Perfect for
but
that character.
and that's what I know he's retiring out basically, except for Chucky. Even though he did show up on the pit the first season because his daughter's plays one of the doctors on the show. I didn't know if y'all knew that, but Fiona Dorff is on the pit,
Hmm.
and so so he comes in on like a little guest stint for an episode, and so I think he's pretty much retired, right? Except for probably voicing Chucky, which, or at least I think my daughter read that in an interview or something, but yeah. So what happens? What happens after he leaves? Right, like when he's done with Chucky, who's picking that up? And I hope it's not Mark Hamill.
That's
I
what I
didn't
was gonna
care.
say. Well, I tell you who could do it, and well, why the hell not? He's already done the Pennywise redo. He's done the Count Orlok redo. I think Skarsgård could do it.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be a good choice. I mean, honestly, Fiona Dorff, his daughter, I think could actually pull it
Yeah, if you
off.
wanted to do that, go that route for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, she played him. Did you watch the series? Have you all watched the actual series
I
at
Yeah, I
all?
haven't.
watched it
Okay.
before I kicked Peacock out the door. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
that's
think she
actually
did
the
a great
reason why
job.
I got rid of Peacock. By the way,
Oh, it's because
because
they
they canceled it. Yeah.
canceled it. Yeah, yeah, I know. I'm like, at least giving it one more season. I mean, I thought it was popular enough to be able to stay, but anyway. But yeah, I mean, she did a great job, like playing a younger version of her dad as Charles Lee Ray, right?
She did.
Yeah, it was excellent. So she could pull that off. She looks like him, you know. So I don't know, but it's also there's a part of me like I don't think they're gonna retire Chucky when he's retired from the role in whatever
No.
aspect that is, but like it will be hard to get used to someone else doing that voice when he's done it since I was 5 years old, you know? So,
Right. Well, and that's the thing. You can put you can do another Michael Myers. You could possibly do another Jason, get another actor. But when you have a character who speaks and has a type of personality, we've seen this when they tried to do another Freddy.
Yeah.
yeah.
It took them about 3 times to really kind of get it right to replace Doug Bradley as Pinhead
Yes.
with Jamie Clayton in the reboot, which I just watched a couple nights ago. And you're, of course, going to run into that same thing with Chucky, finding another voice actor. And we got someone else. There she is. Molly's joined us now.
Molly.
Hey guys, how's it going?
We were discussing like how difficult it is to recast certain characters. You can do it with Jason and Michael, and we were talking about Chucky. Whenever Brad Dourif decides to retire from doing the voice of that character, how difficult it is when you have a character that talks and has its own personality. So that's what Kyle was kind of discussing, because we were talking about
Yeah.
whether or not we want to be a killer or a victim or be killed in a horror movie. So I think most of us, our consensus is we want to be the killer. But
And if I was Chucky, if I voiced Chucky, it'd be different because like to George's point with like the New Jersey accent, but that would be tough for me. So I'd be like Kentucky Chucky, basically. So Southern accent, Southern
Kentucky
accent
Fried
Kentucky.
Chucky.
Chucky, get it in the bucket.
Yeah.
Kentucky.
Which I mean, that sounds like $100 million movie to me right
It
there. So
does.
Kentucky
We need
Yeah.
Chucky.
no. We need a Southern Chucky. I could actually see this.
Hey,
And
I'll do it.
if he
and
wears if he wears the colonel's outfit, he's dressed in all white
Yes.
and has like has the glasses on.
as,
Right?
lo-
You know,
as Jennifer, as
honestly,
long
with
as she
the
wears a Billy doll like that, yeah.
man, with like all the Winnie the Pooh movies and the horror movies and stuff, like a Colonel Sanders horror slasher, honestly, it would not shock me. It
That's
would not shock me at all.
there's
Like
there's
it
the
makes
horror.
sense.
There's the horror version of Avengers Endgame we need. All
Yes,
the you get the Burger King, you get Ronald McDonald.
all
Wendy
of them.
can jump in on
Yeah.
this.
Well, they made a movie called Poultrygeist.
Yes,
Yeah,
Troma did.
Poultry guy.
Roma.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is,
great.
it was
there's
chicken. It was a chicken place.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
Yeah.
sequel coming too. By the
Oh,
way,
really? Oh,
Yeah.
God help us.
Oh man. But yeah, so that'd be my choice is Chucky at this point. So
Okay. Well, how are you doing this evening, Molly?
I'm good. I'm being currently headbutted by my cat with a lot of force, and it's knocking me over. I'm good. No, I'm really good.
Oh, we missed it earlier. My dogs were having a battle royal out here in the backyard, so I had to step away to shoo them back
Oh,
inside the house. They didn't
he's
want
trying to have a battle royale with my hand.
Yeah.
He thinks we're fighting. No, but I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We're all doing
great.
good. Have you met? You probably this is your first time probably meeting George, who's the first one on tonight.
Hi, George. I mean,
Hi.
I've met George via Substack, of course, but not
Right.
here. So hello.
Hello.
So,
Nice to
Harry,
see you.
is he popping on at some point? Is Hellish Harry? Is Harry Evans coming on? Has he been on? He's been
no,
on with you, Josh, hasn't he?
he has, and that was like during the daytime. I had both him, and
That's right. He's in Brit. He's
Laura,
in England.
yeah, both him and Elle Benny, she's in Ireland. I
Okay.
would like to at some point probably do a Saturday afternoon show where I can have those two on plus everyone else there, so I have a combined American Euro type of show going on. So maybe early part of June or something, do something like that.
Very cool.
But all right, here's one last question I was going to ask you, Kyle. Is there a particular horror film you like to watch on your birthday?
On my birthday.
Hmm.
Wow, I don't. I've never been asked that before. Not necessarily. No, I don't have like I'm huge on holiday horror, right? Like I try to stick to
Right.
that pretty well. I missed. They played April Fool's Day Wednesday here at my local theater, and I was completely slammed with work, and I just had a late work day, and I couldn't tackle it. I've seen it before anyway, but it would have been cool to see it on the big screen. But gosh, for my birthday. I would go like one of the birthday horror movies, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe kind of not the most creative answer, but there's Happy Birthday to Me. There's a couple. There's at least one other from the '80s, like where
There's
yeah. So I've tried, and I've actually literally never seen those. So that's actually I'm going to do that this year for my birthday, which is not until August, but. Yeah, I'll be 43, so I'm gonna throw on some birthday slashers for sure.
There you go. I always remember that happy, what is that? Happy birthday to me. I always remember seeing that iconic poster, and I think I got the right title right, where
It's
they
like
got
the head.
The
the
shish
shish
kebab.
kebab going in the guy's
Yeah.
mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm.
There's also another one where it's like someone's. I think it's like a decapitated head on the cake. Am I crazy? Is
Creep
that
Show. That's Creep Show.
Yeah,
that
that's
is
Creep
okay?
Show.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's creep show.
Oh
There's
yeah,
another.
it is.
I
Yeah.
wanted cake for my birthday, Bedelia.
Yeah. Okay, so there's another one that I'm conflating with creep show. The creep show imagery. I'll figure it out. If I need to, I'll Google it here before we're done. So, but yeah, that's probably. Man, other than that, I mean, there's nothing sticks out strictly for. But if I was gonna watch just like a feel good, just like a feel good horror movie that we all loved, that like we could rewatch 1,000 times, coming out of the end of summer like that, I would probably go like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, something still hot, right? Like I wouldn't go
Right.
The Thing or anything yet. It's not appropriate weather. I could watch The Thing anytime, but I prefer to try to watch that in The Shining in the colder weather. But yeah, I would probably go Sleepaway Camp or the Texas Chainsaw Massacre or even Jaws. Well, Jaws is Fourth of July, but something warmer weather like that, I'd say. So for sure.
Well, those are good choices.
Thanks, man.
Molly, I think I already know your answer to that question, but is there a particular horror movie or movies you like to watch on your birthday if you have the time to do so?
Get ready for a shock. Reanimator. I watch Reanimator every year on my birthday.
Oh,
Uh,
you've seen Reanimator, Molly?
I
You've
mean,
seen
you know,
Reanimator?
a couple
Okay.
times. A
God,
Okay.
couple times. I know, but I swear I do know that other horror movies exist. I promise. Um,
Yeah.
and Sleepaway Camp, actually, because Sleepaway Camp was released. Kyle, I think you and I are the exact same age because I was 83. I was born in 83.
Okay. Yeah. Same.
Um,
Same. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I'll be 43 in May. And so
Oh.
Sleepaway
Okay.
Camp, that was released in 83, I believe. And that's one that
You're
I've
right.
watched.
Yeah.
I've watched that a couple times on my birthday. Same with Videodrome, which was also released in 83. Like, so sometimes I'll mix it up and I'll just throw in
Yeah.
a movie or two that was released the year I was born.
I got you.
Um, and I did want to
That's
add
a
real
good
quick,
idea.
if you want a really bad birthday movie, it's one of my hills that I'll die on because it's a movie that I honestly don't think I would defend it so hard if it wasn't so hated because it's not a good movie, but it's so hated that my protective instincts. I could write a book on this movie, and there's not even a book's worth of stories to tell about it. You know what I mean? But it's The Resort from 2020. Really terrible low budget horror movie has been dragged endlessly, but I have fallen in love with it. And it's set on the main character's birthday, and there is a creepy little happy birthday scene with a ghost in the hallway that I think is really great. And so that's one that I'd recommend if you want some trash for your birthday. The Resort is actually a really good pick. So,
I like a little trash. Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
That, the Resort. I haven't heard of that one,
I
so
think I
Yeah,
have
I
either.
think it was. I think it was 2020. It was somewhere. It was definitely a COVID movie. Like it
okay.
was. It was shot during the pandemic. I assume.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it came out like 2020, but I don't know. It's very bad. It's just like a group of four really glossy, attractive people end up at this abandoned hotel in Hawaii. Um, what I really liked about it was that I liked the way it came about because the director, he had really never made a horror movie before. He doesn't even like horror movies because he scares so easily. But he and a friend were vacationing in Hawaii and they found out that this historic resort was about to be torn down, and he's like, we have to make a movie there before it goes away forever. And so they made a movie in there, and so he was new horror. He was new to the realm of horror. He was branching out, scaring himself, trying to make this movie that, of course, is not very scary, but specifically so that he could memorialize that location, which I just think is a really cool reason to make a scary movie. And when I mean, I thought it was okay, and then I saw that it was in like the top 100 lowest rated horror movies on Letterboxd, and I started reading all of the just waves of hate that people had for it, and I I made myself watch it like 20 times in a row until I realized that I loved it, so that I could defend it against all of the criticism. So I really like it, but it's very bad. So
It's like one movie that most people hate, but you just love it. Like, it's your kid, right? Like it's like your mutant baby. Everybody's terrified or hates it, but you kind of love it. So I don't know.
you
It's fun to have that.
That's
oh yeah.
well, we had that. Well, I think Molly, you had done that in October, the 31 days of whatever Halloween or whatever. Like one of your subjects was a movie that you really like that everyone else hates or really isn't very good, and um, That
Yep.
would fall in if you do that again next year. But what is
Yeah.
that's a good topic there, Skyla. What's a movie that you really like but isn't really good and most people don't like? Is there a movie like that for
Uh,
you?
yeah, it was. It's one of the Halloween movies, but I can't remember. There's so many of them. I'm not good at the numbers, but it's the one. It's one with Jamie, his niece.
Uh huh.
It is the one where she calls him Uncle Boogeyman, like, and
Oh,
he cries or
five.
whatever.
Five,
Oh,
yeah.
Five.
five,
Five.
yeah.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
five, even though everyone else is like, I hate this movie. They made my
I'll go to
sister, and I
bat
was
for
like, oh,
five all day long. So I
Hmm.
like that.
okay, good. I'm
Which
not
is the
alone.
is it 4 or 5 that has like the goofy music with the cops?
Five.
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 I love 5 too. I love
Yeah.
5 too.
Yay!
That yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Five's the one where he wears the werewolf mask and is like driving
Yeah.
around. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. But yeah, the cop scene is just bananas. It is just like what? What was
Yeah.
his director? Why did he do that? Um, but yeah, no, it's fun.
It
Okay.
is. I think it's silly to bash it. I think it's silly to bash Halloween 5. I mean, considering how many iterations we've had of Halloween by now, and
Apparently, my list of Halloween movies is very different than like the major Halloween fans. And I was
yeah,
kind of I was like, oh, never mind. Like, I personally don't like, is the sixth one the curse of the one about the
Yeah.
hmm
cult? I don't
Yeah,
like
hmm
that one, but apparently a lot of people love that movie. So I don't know.
I
that one was like the first horror movie I ever really saw in the theater as a kid, right before Scream. Because it was like before Scream came out. So like, I do have I do enjoy that one, but I understand.
Paul
I mean, it's not.
Rudd.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
got
Paul
Paul
Rudd.
Rudd. The producer's cut. If you ever watch that one, if you haven't seen it, I think it's a little. It's superior to the original cut, but the theatrical cut, I guess. But yeah, but it fleshes out the story. It makes the ending make a little more sense.
Hmm.
It's still not a masterpiece or anything by any means, but there's some. It's like five. There's some good things in it. There's some silly stuff, but there's also like some for like those hardcore fans. You can't help but not love them regardless, right? So
it's better than Resurrection.
Miles.
yes, I
Yeah.
hate
Well,
Resurrection so
well,
much.
True.
yeah.
But you know what is
I mean,
worse for me?
I
I
had,
personally love Halloween 6, but
Yeah,
I get why people don't love it. It's one of those where it's like, I don't blame anybody for hating 6. I will always love it. Kind of the same reason that you were saying, Kyle. I didn't see it in the theater, but I saw it as a kid, and
yeah,
it was a part of my development was
right.
watching
Maybe
Halloween 6, but
maybe that's why it's a lot different for me, because I had a moment where I just watched them all back to back to back. So
oh
I got
yeah.
to see like the full, and that was the first time
okay.
I watched it, and I was like, oh, that's a little, like, I like the direction of the concept of a cult and maybe not explaining things, but some
Yeah.
of the things were really questionable in it.
For
Or at least the
sure.
Well,
six
Yeah.
in it.
I'm missing the
So
name here, but somebody in the chat just said main issue with five is that there was no plan for the Man in Black. That is very true. Like, I would have been interested
Yeah.
to see where they would have taken that and that character.
yeah.
Like, if you're gonna keep doing multiple sequels of something as basic in plot as the original, which is where it probably should have stayed ultimately, except for three, is like it go weird, right? Like go as weird as
Yes.
possible. Like let your freak
hmm
flag fly, and that freak flag could have gone pretty wild, I think. So I agree, and it's where it's scrolled up. I can't see who that is, but great point, person. Sorry, I can't see your name. If you're Brian, maybe Brian Wolford. That's Brian
Yeah.
Wolford. If so, like
Trick
that's a
or
great
treat,
Yeah, I
point.
think
motherfucker.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
They, they pitched a storyline where Michael Myers was in space, like Jason. He was
yeah.
in outer space. So
I think
That
that
I
was
did
the
not want.
Carpenter idea.
I think my biggest problem with six is aesthetically. To me it's that kind of like mid '90s ish pre new metal early 2000s look like where even like a Halloween 4 was
Yeah.
shot very beautifully. The cinematography, you still got that Dean Cundy esque cinematography. By six,
Right.
it's just kind of grainy and grimy. And I have a nostalgia for that because, like I said, like with Tamale's point, we were growing up in that period, and is already like pre-Universal Monster kids, and then you get into the Screams and all these other things. Like that was a big deal. But aesthetically, going back to it just as recently as last year, it's not an aesthetically pleasing movie to watch. You know what I mean?
It's really
Like,
not.
yeah.
No.
So,
Well, of course, I think it was back in, was it October or November, one of those two episodes where I talked about we were fixing movies, and I had fixed five, which would turn around and fix six. And of course, my big gripe is you idiots, you had the blueprint in front of you what to do with Jamie Lloyd character, and his name was
exactly.
Tommy Jarvis. All you had to do was look at Fridays 4, 5, and 6, and done basically a similar thing. Instead of that,
Yeah.
I remember almost walking out of the theater in part 6 when they killed her off. I'm like, really? Son of a
Yeah.
bitch, you did it with Rachel in 5, now you're going to do it? And of course, they did it with Laurie in Resurrection, and it's like, keep making the same mistake.
Yeah, I
But,
And
think
I think that's Friday the 13th's biggest issue, and it works out anyway, but they never could handle a final girl very well. Like, they ventured more into the final boys, but, like, they never really had. I never think of a definitive final girl within the Friday the 13th series like I do some of the other franchises. You know what I mean?
well,
no.
Like,
and that's because, and we talked about this on our last episode, which you were
oh,
tardy for.
not
Um,
even tardy. I was absent
oh, that's
the
right, you
entire
were
time.
absent.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even make it
But
being a dummy.
most
So,
of them were all just one and done. They were all really good, every single one of
yeah.
them, but you never had, you're right, they never really expanded, gave them a bit of an arc in there, just kept on bringing a different one each movie. And
Yeah.
maybe that was good in a way that it freshens it up each movie, but I always thought they should have brought, if they were going to bring Tommy back, they should have brought his sister, um, Trish, back in one of
Well,
those sequels.
I think they even had a good opportunity for the new blood. If they had a stronger actress in that role, as the Carrie character, basically, um, they could have brought her back in the next movie as the final girl with powers to come back again and have to face him coming back for revenge or whatever. Like, but that movie has a lot of problems. Although I do love that movie, it has a ton of flaws. But also, and one of those flaws is the actress that played her. I think her name was Laura. Just not the
Water Park
character's name was
linking.
Laura. Yeah, she just was not a very strong presence. There wasn't a lot of charisma there, things like that. So she was no Jamie Lee Curtis, right? So um, that kind of fell through. But yeah, Friday the 13th had like so many different opportunities, and still awesome anyway. Don't get me wrong, but there were some. But the Jamie not letting the retcon of five of Jamie not being like the next Michael Myers is the toughest part of that movie, right? And then her just being you also have this talented young actress. I think one of the most talented child actors, at least of the
Mhm.
'80s and '90s, and she's mute the entire time. Like you're
Right.
completely. It's like it was like putting Jamie Lee Curtis, this mega star Jamie Lee Curtis in the hospital bed the entire time in the second one.
In Halloween
It's
too.
like
Yeah.
these actors need to be acting. They don't need to
Yeah.
be like asleep in a bed or not able to talk. So again, it's kind of bizarre choices, but they work anyway, I guess. So
Yeah, they made it. So, okay, so we've got Yanni. Is there a movie that you really love that everyone else hates that you'll die on the hill for?
I don't know if everyone hates this movie or not, but I love this movie. The Stuff.
Yeah.
I
I do
awesome.
love this
too.
stuff.
The
That movie
stuff.
is
Okay.
awesome. Yeah. And what was that movie a couple of years ago? Demi Moore was in.
The
The
substance.
Substance.
The
Substance
substance.
Substance.
reminded me exactly of The Stuff. It's like this
Really?
marshmallow. You would eat this marshmallow type ice cream thing. I don't know
Yeah.
how you describe it. But and then it would just basically turn everybody into zombies, and I'm like, and a lot of that movie is such a critique of how television used to be. like because remember there was like commercial breaks in the middle of the movie,
Right. Well, we
and
get them still now when you're watching
yeah,
Tubi.
yeah, well, yeah. Hey, and I'll say this, Tubi, I will put up with those commercial breaks as long as you keep it free, because I will not
So
pay
Okay.
one bread cent to your parent company.
I want a
Um,
Tubi T-shirt. That's how much I love Tubi. I'm
yeah,
an
Yeah.
anti-corporate dude, even though I work for
Wait,
a corporation.
who is Tubi's parent company?
Fox.
Oh,
Are you
Really?
kidding?
I did not know
I
Really?
that.
hate to
I
break
did
the
not
news.
know that. Oh, thank God the Tubi's free then, because yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to subscribe to them anyway.
By the way,
Oh, man.
if people don't know this, Paramount is the parent company of Pluto, which
See,
is
I
No
don't
one.
watch. See, that I did know, and I don't watch Pluto because I do not. I
yeah.
won't give any of my time, attention, money, anything to Paramount.
But
So
that's why all the
Yeah.
Fox shows pop up on Tubi, because Tubi owns Fox, or Fox owns Tubi.
Ah, I did not
I just
know
can't
that.
believe I didn't
Gotcha.
know that. That's ew. That's gross.
I still don't know if there's like a split between the entertainment division and the news division.
There is, I think,
Paramount
obviously, when you look at some of the program that Fox has had over the years, dating back to Married with Children and
yeah.
and this, of course, The Simpsons, which is still going on, and think of the X
Watch.
Files and
Did anyone watch a TV show that came out in '87, the same time as Married with Children and The Simpsons, called Werewolf, the TV show? Are you anyone familiar with this?
I,
There, there's
Werewolf, the
no.
the
TV series?
Mm-mm.
there's She Wolf of London.
Huh?
She Wolf of London. Is that the one you're
Well,
talking about?
so I am familiar with that one, but it came out again when it was the first year of when Fox debuted, and Rick Baker does all the makeup effects, and it's the guy that created Frank Lupo. He created the Incredible Hulk TV series, and it's the
Okay.
same
rings a bell.
concept.
Hmm.
This
Oh
guy
shit!
gets bitten by this young guy in college gets bitten by a werewolf. Brian loves werewolf. You're awesome, Brian. Me and you are like you're my brother here.
I have to see
Uh,
this. Chuck Connors is in it.
yeah, so Chuck Connors is the villain, but this college guy, his college buddy, he's visiting, and he's kind of like dating his sister, is a werewolf, and he gets bitten and has to kill him. But he goes on the run, and he's hunted by a bounty hunter, and each episode he's like hitchhiking and running away from this bounty hunter and the law, while also trying to hunt down the original werewolf to kill the bloodline to save himself.
Can we
And
go
in
back
each
to the fact that he's
episode,
kind of dating his sister? What does that mean?
oh well, so that's like how he knew the guy. So the guy who was the
Oh,
Oh, I
werewolf.
think you
oh,
misheard him.
Oh, yeah, I
I
was like,
thought you
saying he
meant
was
that the
dating his
guy was
sister.
dating his own sister.
Yeah.
No, no, no,
Sorry.
no, 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 no.
That's like
So
way ahead of his time. That's like pre Game of Thrones stuff.
yes, no, no, no.
I was like,
So the
way to
main
casually skirt through the incest. Like, what? We need
right,
to talk about that.
no, 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 no Game of Thrones wolves going on. The
Okay, sorry.
No, so yeah, the main guy is dating the werewolf's sister. The guy asks him to kill him. He changes in front of him. This is in the 2 hour pilot, which is amazing. And he does kill him, but he gets bitten, and then he gets blamed for the murders, flees, and then and then this bounty hunter over time is figuring out what he is. And in each episode, he's in a different town, and he ends up helping people like the Incredible Hulk did. And he always turns into a werewolf each episode. And here's the most interesting part of it that I love as a werewolf fan that's different than anything I've seen. Two things. One, he has a pentagram. You know he's about to turn into a werewolf because a bloody pentagram will show up on his hand. And then he turns into this, and it's not like a wolf man. He's like this big Rick Baker beast, right? And he looks awesome. But each episode, even though he turns into this werewolf, he is still able to retain his humanity within it, but only for so long. But with each time he becomes a werewolf, eventually he will finally lose his humanity and become an animal, basically, right? And making those decisions based off what a wolf would. But throughout the episodes, he at least is able to like hold on to that. So when he does become a werewolf, he like doesn't hurt good people, but he'll like totally fuck up the villains on the show or whatever. And so it was one season and it got canceled, but there's like there's like 26, 28 episodes in it. There's an awesome Halloween episode that has a very Jason Voorhees-esque story arc in it. but you can't it's on YouTube for free, and I have the bootleg copy of it. You can buy it like online or whatever, but YouTube has free videos of it. But
Oh
I
wow.
highly recommend. It's super cheesy. It's got the '80s synth and that's why it's
Perfect.
never been released on DVD is because of the music rights. But it's if you like some cheesy '80s like a werewolf show like that with awesome Rick Baker effects, I highly recommend it. Any horror fan needs to see it.
I'm
So
sold. What was it called? It was just
Yeah.
called Werewolf.
just called Werewolf the TV series.
Check
That's
the
amazing. That sounds amazing.
check the
Yeah,
private
it
chat.
is
By the way, I found a playlist that has all the episodes.
awesome. Oh
Awesome.
yeah, again, and the like I think that was recorded off of like TV, so like the imagery might be a little tough to see. It's probably a little blurry, and the guy that plays the main character is like not the best actor, but there's something charming about him. Like you like him, you know. Um, and he's also the biggest weenie in the world too. Like he can't fight or anything like that until he turns into a werewolf. So he's a pretty weak guy. But throughout the show, he's hunting down Chuck Connors, who's like with this eye patch. He looks like this pirate kind of guy, and then it goes more into the werewolf lore. It would pair very well with that Forever Night show. Or y'all remember Forever Night, that vampire show?
Yep.
Um,
Mm.
Vaguely, I remember
okay,
it.
it was like the early '90s, but it kind of has that kind of feel and appeal to it. But anyway, I'll quit talking about it. But I could go on about that forever. But it's like, again, lower your expectations. It's a super cheesy show that came out in '87, but I think you all will have a fondness for it. I really do. So I would
I believe
That's
that
remake. I
one.
would remake that in a heartbeat. So
I know about that's like one that just must have went off my radar because I know about every damn show that ever came out in the '80s. So,
well, what's cool on the YouTube they'll have like little commercial cuts because it was
mhm.
like recorded, and on my bootleg copy it'll have like the original commercials for like the first Simpsons episodes and like Married with Children at 8 o'clock or whatever, you know what I mean? So it just
Ah,
kind of a cool throwback, I guess. So
awesome.
yeah,
That
Okay,
sounds
well
so good. I'm gonna
That's
try to watch that
cool.
on Sunday.
do it, please. Let me know what you
There you
think.
go.
Yeah, it would be
There you
honestly, it would be cool. There was a couple podcasters that I liked that did the series. They just each episode was an episode of the show, but it would be such a fun show for everybody to like write about on an episode or whatever. Not that anybody's ever going to do that, and there's tons of them, but it's one that I could sit and like people who are into it, I could sit and talk about it. There's just a lot of stuff, lot of cool stuff about it. But anyway, I'm going on about that too long. But yeah,
go.
check it out, Molly. Let me know what you think. So.
Will do, absolutely.
Excellent. Well, George, let's get to you. Is there a movie that you really like that no one else does, or just isn't a good
Sure.
movie, but you
Oh
still like
yeah,
it anyway?
I got plenty of them. Highway to Hell. It's a '90s movie. It's
Oh,
about
I love Highway to Hell.
yeah, it's a good
I just
movie.
watched that.
It's a good movie.
Sorry. That's so good. So fun.
He's a pizza delivery guy, and his girlfriend gets kidnapped by hell cops. And Gilbert Gottfried has a cameo as Hitler, and it's I, th-
Okay, I know that one now.
yeah, I think I think a lot of drugs were consumed making that movie, but it was a really good movie. I still remember it, and like I don't remember anything, but I thought that was a great movie.
All
I
right.
love that
Well,
movie. I feel like it pairs really well with Sundown, the Vampire in Retreat.
Yeah,
I love
If
that
you
one.
watch Sundown and Highway to Hell in the same day, it is like a chef's kiss double feature. They're so
Molly,
good together.
was that your favorite vampire movie? Is Sundown your favorite vampire movie?
Yes,
Did
it
I
is
say
my
remember that
favorite
right?
vampire
That is
movie.
an awesome flex. That is like,
I love it so much, and
it is
I mean,
great.
it's got again it's another good one for like what's a movie that you love, not necessarily that everyone hates, but just that nobody's ever
right.
ever
Heard of
seems to have fucking heard of.
yeah.
And yeah, it's when I was doing my YouTube channel, I actually that was the movie that I was holding in that underdog picture. That's the movie that I kind of like I use as like the template for like the kinds of movies I love. Sundown, The Vampire Retreat is a perfect example of it because it's extremely obscure. It is absolutely bananas. You know, there's so much happening in it, but it's also populated with these really incredible actors who are super passionate about horror. It has a very interesting story. So if you can get past the camp of it all, it's actually fucking fascinating. You got like a civil war between two vampire factions. And who is it? M. Emmett Walsh punches someone's head off in the desert. Like,
Good cast. Great
um,
cast.
and
That's
then
always
Max
a good
Max
thing to have.
Caulfield with like the weird clay penis, and he turns into a bat. It's just so much fun from start to finish.
Anthony Hitchcock is awesome. Like he's such an underrated sequels director. Between that,
Hmm.
he did Waxworks 2, Lost in Time. He did Hellraiser 3. He did Warlock 2.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm forgetting something, but like him and like Brian Usna and some of those like guys that just did like awesome, like better than they should have been sequels. Like, I love those
Right.
guys. So like Bride of Reanimator and Society and some of those movies, just excellent. But yeah, Hickox
So
is one of
good.
my guys, man. I love him.
Yeah, and I just watched Hellraiser 3 last night, so
Are
yeah,
you a
that,
fan of three? I like
yeah,
three. I
yeah,
dig
I
it.
like 3. 3, I mean,
My favorite.
uh, it's probably something. And first of all, let's welcome Sam into the group from
Oh, is Sam
W.
here?
Yeah,
Hi.
Oh, hey
you know
Sam.
Hi.
Sam. Sam has do
Molly, you
some.
forgot to mention the best part about Sundowner. Bruce Campbell.
Oh, and Bruce Campbell as Van Helsing. Sorry, to me, the best part is Max Caulfield's clay penis. But you're right, Bruce
Okay.
Campbell's got the best thing about
He's
it.
just not in it enough.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
problem.
true,
Yeah,
true.
Yeah,
He's not in it enough. Like he's
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Bruce
So
Campbell's amazing in it. And Deborah Foreman too,
Yeah.
who she
Oh,
was
yeah,
not
yeah.
never in enough movies, like horror movies in my opinion. She was so good in April Fool's Day, so good in Sundown. And we never really see her much. So yeah, and it was really fun to see Bruce and Deborah together. Sorry, I did not mean to pull us away from Hellraiser, but hi Sam, and yeah,
Oh,
Bruce
yeah.
Campbell.
yeah, that's fine.
Oh,
yeah,
and Hellraiser 3 is my favorite.
Favorite?
So,
Nice.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, my own thing. I mean, with Hellraiser 3, it's good because it keeps the continuity of the first two movies together. It's probably something the Hellraiser movie shouldn't be, and that's it gets a little campy at times, but still an enjoyable watch, and it's well connected to everything else, and it's what ends up coming up later in this series, and I've actually revisited some of the direct-to-video sequels this week. And some of them they have some good parts to them, but there were some that were just really, really bad. That makes all right. Hellraiser 3 was pretty good, but anyhow, we're bringing
But
on
Kyle,
Sam.
what were you saying on it?
well, no, I was gonna. Well, for Hellraiser 3, I love this. I can't help but love the compact disc Cenobite.
Oh, is that
Yeah,
where?
The
Is
CD
that
that
was my
where?
favorite too.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
awesome. And then, but
Yeah, I have.
I had mentioned on Sundown Vampire and Retreat, the one of the main characters is the guy, and he's the actor who was in. He was in a couple. He was also in Waxworks too, but he was in Empire Records. He's like the celebrity singer that they're all like freaking out about.
Yeah, when I was talking about the clay penis, that is belonging to one Mr. Maxwell Caulfield, who is the guy you're
Okay,
thinking of. Yeah,
okay, that's gotcha. Okay, that's what I thought.
I
Okay, I
love
was
him so
blanking on.
much.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I
Yeah.
bet by the sounds.
I'm actually getting Jamie B. Do you guys know Jamie B from Substack?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
Jamie B and I are actually doing a collaboration for Rex Manning Day on the 9th, where we're talking about
Nice.
Maxwell Caulfield as Rex Manning in Empire Records. And it was so funny because it's not really a collab. We're just both doing the same thing, and we picked different characters to talk about. But I messaged her and I was like, "So, are you coming down like in favor of Rex Manning or against him in your piece?" And she was like, "I guess against him, because he's, And I'm like, I'm just like, yeah. Screw Rex Manning. I hate that guy. 'Cause I absolutely love him because of Max Caulfield. Because I think he's just such a great actor, and I love what he brought to that role. And there's also a deleted scene from Empire Records where we actually get to learn a little bit more about Rex Manning that really softens him as a character. And anyway, did not mean to ramble about that, but yeah, Maxwell Caulfield. That's who you were thinking.
That's who it is. Okay, yeah, and he is really good in the Waxworks sequel in the Aliens segment that they parody. He plays like the
Yeah.
Michael Bean Marine character, I think. If I'm not
Okay.
correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, he's really good in that too. But but anyway, yeah, excellent. If anybody has not seen either of those, including Hellraiser, but yeah, Jamie B. Josh, you gotta have Jamie B on here sometime, man. She's super cool.
Absolutely. I
Definitely.
love her so much. Please bring her on.
Well,
Yeah.
well, there's like so many people, trust me,
Mhm.
that are on my list to have on at some point. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely follow her as well. I was going to say, too, just a few weeks ago I had screenwriter Peter Atkins on, who wrote the screenplay for Hellraisers 2, 3, and 4. He
Nice.
incidentally in 3 did double duty because he plays the barbed wire Cinnabite because he's the bartender, plays the bartender in that
Hmm.
movie. And he also got to play the the barbed wire Cinnabite who blows fire out of his mouth. So that was,
I clearly need to watch 3 again. I haven't.
Hmm.
Josh, I know you and I have talked about this. I'm not very savvy when it comes to Hellraiser. I
mhm.
remember my brother watching the second one when I was little, and I wandered into the room and I had nightmares for a week. And so, like, I always reflect fondly on the second one because I remember it scaring the fuck out of me when I was little. And I remember Bloodline being not my favorite thing. I remember trying to get through it and not really loving it very much. But there are a lot of Hellraiser movies that I've either never seen or I've only seen maybe one time. So I really, really need to. And I know I've seen 3, but I don't remember it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
third
I
one's
wa-
good too. I
The,
love Blood. So
yeah.
yeah, I
The
watched.
nightclub scene is just so good.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
that's
You
the
got that
biggest
weird
body
statue
count.
too. That weird, like the demon
Hmm.
Cenobite statue. That's super
Yeah.
cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I remember the CD Cinnabite. I mean,
Yeah.
they're hard to forget. I remember that one, but that's all I really remember.
Because is Uncle Frank back in the third one? He's in the third one,
No,
right? It's been a few years
no,
since he's.
he's just in the first
No.
two movies,
Okay, he
and
There's
doesn't. Okay, so he did
flashbacks, I
flashbacks.
think.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah.
yeah, there's of course I had watched 3 and 4 last night, and I'm gonna watch 1 and 2 tomorrow night. But um, anyhow, which kind of goes with what movies I like to watch on my birthday, which are Hellraisers 1 and 2. So going on that theme. But we do have Sam here joining us. One person who's not on Substack, but myself and Molly have known her for a while. She's been on the show prior. She has her own YouTube channel, WNY Horror Crew, and also her Instagram, In Jerry's Closet. And we were talking about cons earlier today, and you do a lot of
Con
vendoring
season.
at a lot of these conventions, and you just went to one. Was it last weekend in Buffalo, or was it the
Yep.
weekend before? Yeah, it was
It
last
was
weekend.
last Saturday. Yep. So the next one that we're having is April 25th, and it's Buffalo Comic Con, and the whole
Hmm.
con is just straight out comic books. So it's all
Yeah.
comic books, a whole bunch of local vendors with all their comics there, and it's gonna be also at the end of May and at the end of June. So we're doing 4 for this season,
Oh
and
wow.
it's in
So,
Depew, New York, and it's got great parking and everything where it is, so there's plenty of room, and yeah.
well,
What does
there,
a
if
person
you
have to do to get a convention in Fort Dodge, Iowa?
hey,
Reach out. You just have to reach out to local vendors. That's how you can get that to squared
Yeah.
away. Reach out to celebrities. Like the other thing that we're having in Buffalo right now, that's going to be huge, is the Buffalo Horror Garage Sale at the end of May. It's May
Mm.
30th and 31st for $8. There's going to be a Frankenhooker reunion. We got like 3 or 4 people from there,
That's so
and there's
cool.
all kinds of other guest stars. It's only $8 to get in.
wow.
There's going to be
Wow.
like 50 vendors. I've been doing the past 5 of them, and they're definitely like my big money makers. Like
Wow, that's
definitely
really
like the
cool.
big events.
I'm,
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I just remember.
I'm about,
Oh,
about to
sorry.
say if Florence, South Carolina can have 2 here, anybody can
Well,
have
I just remember I remember Okamicon, which is the Omaha Comic Con that we have. So
Yeah.
Omaha, Nebraska is actually 3 hours away from me, but I lived in Omaha for a long time, and right across the
I
river
used
is
to go there
Council
all the
Bluffs.
time.
Okay, yeah, so
My
you know the
my
area.
dad
So
lived in Iowa. He lived in Atlantic, Iowa, and it was
mm,
about an hour and a half from Omaha. So I'd go to
okay,
Omaha all the time to go to movies or concerts or different kinds of events.
right. Okay, so yeah, see, and right now where I am, I'm kind of halfway between Omaha and Des Moines. It's not really easy to get to either place, but I remember when, because O Comic Con was actually held in Council Bluffs that year. That would have been like 2016, 2017, something like that. And that was the saddest turnout I've ever seen at a con in my entire life. And that was right across the river from Omaha. It wasn't like it was where I am now, which is,
Yeah.
hours away from Omaha. It was literally across the river. And that was the one that Jeffrey Combs came to, and I had the best day of my entire life. But I knew when I was looking around at the turnout, like at his Q&A, there were maybe 20 people at his Q&A. And they're like the Dr. Forrester and TV's Mike from or TV's Frank from MST3K were there. They had no lines the entire weekend. So it was like it was really hard to look at that because I knew there was no way some of these people were ever going to come back because it just wasn't financially worth it to them because this area is just
Yeah.
so it's like a black hole for things like cons. So
Same
But the
thing.
best part is you got those intimate moments. I'm sure you got to talk to them a little bit longer than you would have, you know?
Oh yeah, as a fan, it was heaven. I talked to Jeffrey
Yeah.
Combs for like over an hour. It
Oh,
was
that's
amazing.
amazing. Yeah.
It
Awesome.
was
I've
so
had those
amazing. Best
moments
day of my
too.
life.
So good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've
But
been
it
at
was really
concerts like
sad.
that too. Yeah.
We had a film festival too in Omaha called the Scream in the Dark Film Festival, and it ran for I think 3 or 4 years. And I went for Texas Chainsaw Week. It was the year that they were doing Texas Chainsaw, and they had um oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, I'm gonna hate myself. I can't remember his name now.
It will come to you.
Grandpa Sawyer.
Oh,
Oh, the
from
one
Texas
hitter.
Chainsaw. Yeah.
What?
Bon-
What's his name?
Oh, they call him the one hitter.
the one
I can't
hitter.
remember. Yeah,
Are
I
you talking
can't.
about the
I can't.
actor's name
No,
or
no,
the
John
character?
Dugan. It was John Dugan was his
Oh,
name.
okay. Oh, the actor's name. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I was thinking of the actor's name, but like John Dugan was there, and I think Betsy Palmer was even supposed to be there, but she died. She passed
Oh,
away like right before that, whatever year
oh,
that was.
it
Yeah.
wasn't too
Anyway,
long
the
ago.
point is, it shut down because of the turnout, because there just wasn't enough turnout. So that's why I'm always curious to see. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, Buffalo is different. It's a huge city compared to
Yeah,
even
definitely.
Omaha. But so I'm just always
Mhm.
curious about how to bring cons to smaller towns. I didn't mean to get into like logistics or anything. I just was curious. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. But there's like too
Well,
many
Molly,
vendors
how?
too. I feel like we need to combine some of the shows.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
I was like, Molly, how far do you live from Oklahoma City? Is that quite a bit of a drive for you?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It would probably be pretty far. I
Yeah.
don't know. I know I'm 6 hours away from Dallas. I don't know how far away that is from Oklahoma City, but I'm 6 hours away from
6 hours
Dallas.
from. Well, if you're 6 hours from there, then you're probably only 4 or 5 hours from Oklahoma City. I
Yeah.
asked because there's a HorrorCon in Oklahoma City this July. I'm not.
Hmm.
I'm contemplating not only going to it, but perhaps setting up a vendor's table there to sell
Hmm.
my books and whatnot. And
Nice.
because it's going to be a smaller one, and the one in Dallas is like really huge. And I don't know if I want to deal with big, huge crowds. So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
um, but Sam, for those who don't know, what kind of items do you normally sell when you go to these cons?
Um, for that one, obviously, I just bring my comic collection and stuff. But other ones we bring toys, books. I have artwork. There's a lot of like local artists that I'm friends with that I carry their stuff for them also. I started doing, which has been kind of popular, Grandpa Smut bags. So I was left a very large collection of vintage porn, and it was very hard to sell. I had an I had an Etsy store that I was killing it on until Etsy was like, "Wait, why is she making so much money?" And once they found out it was off pornography, they cut me off. So I
Oh
lost the account.
no.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I had to think outside the box, and lately like surprise bags have been super popular. So I was like, okay, I'll take a paper bag, I'll put a porn mag in there, I'll put a bunch of porn trading cards, maybe like a little something else, and sell them for $5. So I've been doing adult conventions and just selling those for $5. There's this event in Rochester, New York called Thirsty Thursdays, where it's like a meet and greet and there's like adult vendors and everything. So I sell them there too. And there's a local store that's in downtown Buffalo called Timeless Babes. It's like a punk store that kind of sell patches, t-shirts, all that kind of stuff, and I sell them there also. So
That
I
is
still have a ton of
fantastic.
magazines. So
That is so great. Oh,
yeah, I had to try to get around the censorship of it all. Because even being in
yeah.
New York, there's still, it's,
Yeah.
oh, pornography's bad. So,
There's
like,
no way I could get away with that in Amarillo, Texas. That's for sure.
yeah,
That's not happening. But
yeah, yeah,
and I
totally,
do have a, I
totally.
do have, I should say, my wife and I have a combined collection of old vintage Playboy magazines that we have stored away somewhere up in the shelf
Yeah,
in the garage somewhere. But
Well, you're all
yeah.
in luck because Oceana in the chat, she could definitely help you with that.
Wait,
Nice.
why? What? How do I view the chat? I don't even know how to do
I
that.
don't either. Oh, well, I do, but I
No,
don't
I
know how
think,
to tell
yeah.
someone. There might be, if you see something that says comments, if there's a comment link, click on it, and maybe
Yeah.
it'll come up.
There might be an arrow to the left
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
Yeah.
screen.
Oh, I found it. I found it. Oh, yeah. Edison Exotica.
Oh
Is
my.
that Edison, New Jersey? I mean, I'm not asking for any particular reason.
Yes, George. Oh yeah, George meet Sammy. Sammy meet George. George is in New Jersey, so he's only one state away from you. So
Oh, yeah, very close. Yes, nice. I've also been doing a killing on eBay with my toys lately. So, like, those have really been kind of going. Yeah,
Nice. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that is so.
yeah.
I think that's so cool. Sammy, you're my hero. I love that
Thanks.
you're selling mystery bags of porn at vintage porn at cons. I think that's so cool.
I'm a smut dealer.
All right.
yeah.
Well, I gotta go, so I'll
Okay.
my shift's
Oh,
over at work, so I gotta leave. I'll see y'all
bye,
later.
All right. Well,
Yanni.
we'll see
Good to
you
see
next
Yep.
you.
time,
Bye.
Yanni. Thanks
Yeah.
for coming
Talk to
on.
you. Reach out about setting a date for. We've got Spring of King coming up for May, so I need to get a date. I'm going to be reaching out to everybody to confirm all that stuff this weekend. So
Okay.
I will. Yeah,
I'll,
I'll
I'll
definitely
shoot
get.
you a message.
Thanks, dude. All right, see y'all.
Bye. Yeah, I'm excited
Bye.
for
Bye.
King Month. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So we've just got to finalize out. A few people have picked their movies, so I've just got to send out what. Not many, but there's a few that's been taken. But I mean, golly, there's a million things to choose from,
Stephen
right?
King.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I just need to get the remaining. I think we've got plenty of people involved. It's just, I've just got to get everyone's movie choice and then setting the date for the month. And everybody here, I know Sam, you're not on Substack, but everybody else here is involved in it. So unless somebody can't, everybody here is, has been invited
Can
to do a
I
Stephen
get
King movie.
silver
So
split?
I'm
Yeah,
You're,
I
sorry.
you're,
can definitely do it. I just can't do it the week of the 9th because that's the week of my birthday.
Oh, that's cool.
Um,
Yeah. I mean,
Nice.
literally, what we have 31 days, so I'm
yeah.
sure you'll
So
get
as
one
long
there
as
and
as
you.
too.
long as it's not like on or right around the 9th, I'm good for the whole month whenever.
Cool. Okay. Sounds good.
And you're
And we
doing
don't have to
that
talk about
in
that
May,
now.
right?
Huh?
You're doing that in May, right?
Yeah. So basically, we have everybody will have the rest of have the full month of April, and then obviously if you're doing later May, you're going to have more time. But so everybody should have plenty of time. But I'm just going to try to get it all finalized as much as possible this weekend, and then get with HH Duke on getting the graphic and everything completed. So then the third week of April, that weekend, I'll send out like my Carnival Barker blurb deal that I always send out like
Okay.
a week ahead of time, just to get everybody hopefully amped up for it. So
Did
I've been really
HHU?
happy with the last one too. So, and it's a little bit slower. It's not quite as much hype as Christmas and Halloween with the Friday the 13th holiday, but I was really pleased with the turnout we had for it and everything. So I'm hoping a full month of King. It kind of broadens, horror fans and non-horror fans, right? So, and even with like the Halloween series, even your not hardcore horror fans, everybody likes Halloween. So I'm hoping it'll be a nice series, and but it's cool. We're gonna have a bunch of horror writers from the community. There's going to be some people jumping in to write on that aren't film essayists that are going to try their hand at it for the first time. So yeah,
Oh, that's
so
exciting.
so it's cool, kind of letting everybody kind of experiment and it's some of the people too that aren't film essayists, but they've been like active in communicating and sharing scare stack and things like that. So yeah, so I'm pumped. I'm excited. So we'll get all that mostly finalized this weekend, and then everybody will know their deadlines and all that good stuff too. Same rules as before. Everybody does their thing how you do it, which I love. I want everybody's to be as different as possible, and then yeah, we just gotta it's gotta just be king, and then do it on your day. But it can be a movie or a miniseries. So
Okay.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
one writer who's doing the It miniseries. She did pick that, but that leaves the movies. But there's just golly, there's so much stuff.
Can
So
can I do Silver Bullet?
absolutely, you can do Silver Bullet.
Oh,
Yeah,
There you go.
Guy
Good one.
Busey.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
Busey,
Do
Corey
me a favor
Kane.
though. Will you send me a message later? Just say Silver Bullet and then a
Yeah.
day that you want. Okay.
Okay.
The only days that are taken right now is March 1st through 3rd and the 7th. Everything else is and then everything else is wide open. So
Okay.
Oh yeah, I guess I need to because I already picked my movie, but I don't have a day set. So yeah, I
what
need to
is your
get on
movie, Molly? I know you sent it to me, but
it. Big Driver.
Big Driver. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I
Gotcha.
figured nobody would pick it because it's a lifetime adaptation of a Stephen King short story. So I figured I was safe to like pick that and nobody else would pick it.
If
Plus,
you have to
I
fight
love it.
somebody over Big Driver, I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
I don't. I think you're safe. I don't think you have
Has,
to be Big Driver.
has anyone, as Kyle, I know I picked Pet Cemetery 2. I remember way
Yes.
back, and I'll mess. Has anyone picked the first Pet Cemetery yet? The original?
Yes, there's a writer on Substack. It's her name's Jay Hong, and she's
Uh-huh.
doing Pet Cemetery 1. So
What date is she? Has she gotten a date?
the third. Do you want to do the fourth?
Yeah. Let me go ahead and do the fourth. That way they're back to back
Oh,
then.
maybe she's the second. Do you want to do the third? If she's the second, do you care?
If third's not already taken, I figured that would be a good way of doing that. Have them
Yes, that's a great
close
idea.
together.
Yes, I may so I'll do the one after you probably because I'd like to do within the first week. But I think we're gonna start off with the It miniseries the first day, then we'll run through Pet Cemetery. I still don't know exactly what I want to do yet. I'm torn between a couple movies. So,
Hmm.
because I even thought about the Pet Cemetery remake, even though I usually write about like 80s and 90s stuff.
Right.
But I actually am a big fan of the remake. I don't love it as much as the original, but I think it's got a lot of good qualities to it, and especially like just as the change with it being the dad and a daughter
Yeah.
versus the dad and a son. Like when I saw that in theaters, my youngest was about that age, and so it hit me pretty hard actually. So, but at the same time, I was kind of there's one called The Night Flyer, that was like an HBO movie based off one of his short stories that I highly recommend if you all haven't seen that. I'm thinking about that, and then possibly Cujo. I know Kimberly covered it for the Human Gaze in more of a brief, like couple hundred words, but I was thinking about maybe Cujo instead. So but I've got a
Did you
file on
see?
it.
Did you see what Brian Wilford said in the chat? If you end up not having enough, I'd do one Cinema Slacker on Substack.
Oh yeah, is he okay? Cinema Slacker?
Yeah,
Is
I
that what
don't
it's
know
called?
that I've
Oh,
seen
it's in
that
not. All right,
Substack.
cool.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Also, kudos to you for saying Big Driver is great. It's another one that I
Yeah.
just don't feel like anyone's ever heard of. That makes me so happy.
I
Well,
haven't.
and here's something too, Brian. I think we probably have. I actually probably as many people that wanted to get involved. We probably have over 31, like a handful over. What I'm thinking about doing is like that overflow. Just doubling up a couple days where like
Hmm.
Hell yeah.
people. I mean, who cares, right? So like
Right.
where
Yeah, we
Mhm.
can double up.
yeah, I don't want to cut people off like that too because I don't know what the next one's going to be, and it might not be until the fall. I don't know if we'll do one this summer.
Hmm.
I would like to maybe do like a summer series or something, but I'm not really. I may just break from it until we do like a Halloween one.
Right.
But yeah, we'll probably just do some overflow. So Brian, I will, man, I'll reach out to you and because Brian, you and I subscribe to each other. I think now that I'm like really paying attention here. So I'll reach out to you and we'll get it figured out. Would you want to do the night flyer? No, you're not overstepping at all. I know I'm sitting here talking to the comment section, but if we're people
Better you than me.
watching,
It's all good. It's
I'm
all
really
good.
who are you
bad at.
talking to?
This is actually probably the most comments we've had in the comment section since I've been doing these videos. Actually, so it's like,
Yeah, man, Brian's hanging with us. Okay,
yeah,
and
I know he's been here
if,
since the beginning.
if you want to do something else, Brian, I'm all for that. So just I'll message you and we'll talk about it. So it's all good.
I think doubling up is a great idea. I mean, as long
Yeah.
as nobody's writing about the same movie, I think
Exactly.
that's really great. It's still going to
I
get
would
like a
love to,
broader reach. And
I would love to
yeah.
cover almost every movie and show, but I know that's
Mhm.
gonna. The only thing with that is like introducing everybody every day is like I try to do that the best I can, but like
Yeah, that's kind
you
of
don't get
tough to do.
you don't want to get too overloaded with it, but
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want to let anybody down on that, but yeah,
You could
but we'll
hold up
have,
a sign that has everybody's name on it.
yeah, there you go, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, totally. You give the
Yeah.
shout out, they can pause the screen. Yo,
Well,
there's my name.
and here's something that's a really good idea. What I'm going to offer out too is my daughter would like to draw anybody's movies, like whether it's Annie Wilkes or Cujo or the Vampire and in Salem's Lot or whatever. She will do sketches for free. She'll do a
Oh,
sketch
that's so
for you if you
cool.
want to add in for your and if you don't want to use it for your actual essay, when I introduce you the day before, I might put that in there for you. So if you're cool with that, so
So cool.
depending
She's
on
such a
whatever.
great artist.
Well, thank you, but yeah, she said that she would be more
Kimberly.
than happy.
Sorry, didn't mean to
Hi.
interrupt. Hi.
Hi,
Hey,
everybody. Thanks for
coming.
having me, Josh.
Yeah, thanks all the way from Indonesia. We have.
Yes, it's Saturday morning here, so don't worry, everybody. Like tomorrow is coming. It's safe. We're here.
Well, that's a good
That's a
thing.
relief.
So
That's a
technically,
relief.
it's April 4th where you're at
Yes.
right now. Well, good. Happy birthday to me because that's my birthday.
Ah, happy
Hey, happy
Happy
birthday!
birthday.
birthday, man.
Excellent.
That's why you're talking about birthday movies.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
You
I,
know?
I was waiting for that. Oh, that'd be a good catchline. Oh, it's April 4th there, isn't it? Hey,
Well,
I'm,
I have a
I'm,
question for
I'm,
you then, Josh.
what's that?
If you could get, if there were going to be a new horror movie released on your birthday this year, and you could pick what it was, who directed it, who was in it, your dream movies coming out for your birthday, what would that movie be?
Easy. It would be a movie adaptation of my first book, Hangman of Darkness.
That's
Oh
a good
yeah.
answer.
And it would be who would I want to direct it?
What a pro! Like just segueing into his book.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
I know.
You know what you're doing.
Shameless plug. As
I
far as
wish
who
I had that much self promotion.
Man, what a pro!
yeah, I mean, I wrote a screenplay version of it, so it's like just
Already
hanging.
there.
So if anyone wants to make a movie and needs a screenplay, I've got one set ready to go. I'm trying to think who, because it's a horror western, so who could do, westerns have kind of like, westerns are one of those genres that kind of come and go. They get real popular for a while, then they die out, and then they come back again.
Scott Eastwood.
Ooh,
So,
yeah.
maybe, but I was like thinking someone who could do the horror element. So I was like, kind of thinking maybe Ty West, just because he did do what was that, The Valley of Darkness with Ethan Hawke, which really isn't a horror; it's more of a western. But we know Ty West can do horror, so that
Honestly,
might be
Ethan Hawke could probably direct it too. You know,
Ethan
because
Hawke could
he's done
star
a
in it.
couple.
He could play
Well, yeah.
he could play one of the characters in it. I was thinking, but yeah, that,
Ethan's
now
one
that
of my subscribers. I'll reach out to him. I'll see what he's doing. He's one of my paid subscribers.
I'll have to make it myself. Maybe not that I know anything about directing. I don't, but everyone can here on board can star in it. But
So when are we gonna have like a centralized like horror stack meetup like at the restaurant in It Too, where everybody sits down at the Asian restaurant?
good question. I would love to do that. We'd have to find. Let's see here.
I know we're scattered about
A
everywhere.
little bit, well, especially Kimberly because she's in Indonesia. But
Well,
you
and
have
don't forget,
family in.
I'm agoraphobic, so I can't really travel. So I would
Oh,
have
okay.
to.
Are you
I'd have to
hosting, Molly? Would that work for you?
Yeah, I
I
guess
can
Just
we'll,
all
host you
come
guys
to
all want to
you.
come
we'll all
to
come to
the
Fort.
beautiful Fort Dodge, Iowa. I will
Yeah.
host all of you. Yeah.
Right.
Interesting. Well,
I actually. Oh,
go ahead.
sorry. I actually did have a question for Kyle,
Yeah.
and
What's
I'm
up?
gonna feel really stupid if there is, and I haven't seen it. But is there anybody on Substack right now that's doing like a scare stack centric podcast?
Not
One
at
that's like
all.
specifically kind of centered around,
Or
the scare stack community?
oh, the scare stack community specifically, no, not at all. So that's
Interesting.
actually something. I mean, we only have so much time in the day, right? So it's like
Right.
it's I hate to. I've thought about it, and it's easy to get kind of busy with the writing, and so incorporating like a live show or something like that sounds great, and it's something that like I think would be fun to do. I don't know if a weekly basis would work, at least for my schedule, but I have thought about like doing something like that where, because ultimately at the end of the day, like Scare Stack, I don't see it as like anybody specifically as other than our collective selves, right? So if anybody ever wanted to take that and do something cool with it outside of anything that I have thoughts on, I don't really care. You know what I mean? Like I think that'd be awesome. I don't think of it as like my thing or whatever necessarily, but I've just been the one to like kind of do it so far. But yeah, I mean, no, not at all. To answer your questions now. So,
All right.
what do you have
No,
any
that's
thoughts?
Yeah, it's just something that, well, because I had been thinking and kicking around for the past few months about doing like a monthly podcast where it's sort of curated recommendations lists for different essays and poems
Yeah,
and stories and just,
yeah,
because throughout the month, I only have so much time in the day to read other people's posts,
sure,
which
right,
absolutely kills me. And stuff gets buried, especially as as the people that you're subbing to kind of grows. I feel like stuff
absolutely.
gets buried. So I thought it would be really fun to do something like that. That's sort of about, this is this month in Scare Stack or something along those lines of like what were some of the things that happened throughout the Scare Stack community? What are some
Yeah,
things you can go back and read? I don't know. It's just something I was kicking around, not necessarily directly related to Scare Stack initially,
yeah.
but over time I've been thinking about that, kind of merging that idea with the community on Substack. So I
I
don't know. It's just
mean,
something I was
and not that I mean, and I don't necessarily even. I would like if we use Scare Stack as like our corner of Substack, right? As like horror film essays and things like that. I think that's awesome. It's not necessarily like I wasn't trying to do that necessarily in a way, but like, but to do a podcast based around the community as Scare Stack and to help promote and discuss like what we're all doing. Because you're right. I mean, I get I may have talked about this in the past, but like I call it Substack anxiety because like I start feeling like guilt over because I
hmm
have so many people that I enjoy like if it's not film essays, it's
Yeah, I
poetry or
hear
short
that.
fiction. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
so things get lost in the shuffle, and that's why it's so helpful if people if they send me their links to remind me because I'm very bad about checking that email feed when things drop. And so,
Mhm.
and we all kind of get our heads up our butts with our own projects and all those kind of things.
Mhm.
And that's where I always fear. I'm like, man, I don't want anybody to think that I'm like not wanting to read their stuff or whatever. It's just the next thing you know, it's been 3 or 4 weeks later since they posted it, and I haven't got to it yet, right? So like, it's a
Yeah.
horrible feeling, and I don't want anyone to ever take that personally. And hopefully they don't. And I try not to either. If somebody doesn't have time to get to my stuff, but like, but that would be. I think that's a great idea, and I think it would be fun as like a co-host or like a co-host collective thing, like where
Yeah.
even if like it
Mhm.
was more than once a month, but we took turns getting together under it, and like different
Oh
people
yeah.
talk to each other and stuff like that.
I think that would be really great, and I do think it'd be a good way to not just promote, but that is something too that I was thinking, like especially like with Josh, I was just thinking about when you were doing your giveaway for your book.
Hmm.
That's the kind of thing that would have been really great to also be able to promote on a Substack specific
Right.
podcast,
Definitely.
and like have that direct link of like, hey, Horror Hangouts on Substack is doing this giveaway for his book, or X so and so is releasing a book, and celebrating that way, but also just bringing more people together,
Yeah,
and that was kind of what I was thinking
it's
would just
really
be.
hard to. I agree. 100%. I think it's really hard to grow here individually, especially like
Mhm.
Hmm.
this platform is, or I'm saying this platform, not YouTube, but we're talking about Substack
Oh, trust me,
specifically.
YouTube's even more
Yeah,
difficult than
dude,
Yeah.
Substack.
you could tell me that YouTube is whatever, I would have no clue. But at least with I'm somewhat privy with like the Substack culture or whatever. So like it's it's so tailored to nonfiction, to like news and
Mhm.
essays and things like that. And then like things like essays, like film essays specifically, and even like poetry and fiction. We struggle a little more like to get our faces out there and gain
Oh
readers,
yeah.
and so you have to grind, right? It's the long haul. We're not gonna get this done in 6 months. It's gonna take years.
Mhm.
But what I've noticed with Scarestack is I think we're all stronger together, right? Not to sound
Oh
like
Right.
yeah.
lame or whatever, but like I think that's the way. At least personally, in my opinion, I think that's the way forward here. And then also, if we were ever to break out together outside of Substack into something, I've thought about
Mhm.
what that looks like if Substack changes different. If Substack changes in a way that doesn't work for a large group of people or whatever in the next year, 2 years, or whatever that looks like. Like, what are the options outside of that? Is it a website?
Mhm.
Is it a bloodydisgusting.com situation? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what do those things look like? And as we have all kind of networked together, I think there's like avenues there. And if anybody is just like, look, I'm a lone wolf. I'll say hey from time to time, but I do my own thing. Like I respect
Right.
that. But anybody who like wants to collaborate and work together, as we do, basically it's doing our own things, but doing those things.
Under one umbrella.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like and is as democratically as possible, right? Like I don't, like so I don't know. There's something about that I like of just like-minded, creatives coming together to do those things, and because it is, I mean, I don't care what anybody says. Like it's tough here, and you know, and I've seen this in outside of the horror stack. Honestly, I think out of the all of the film community, and I'm not active on like the film stack side of
Right.
things, but
I'm a
I think,
little. Yeah.
well, I think, and maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like we do a pretty damn good job as far as bringing in readership and
Hmm.
Mhm.
engagement compared to
Mhm.
like non-horror writers. And but I think we work really hard at like interaction and
Mhm.
but so much I think it gets caught up where like film writers read other film writers, right? But like we're not getting readers that love films that just don't
That's
write themselves, right?
that's like the big difficult thing. Like I just dropped another short story this morning, and crickets. Now I know
Right.
why, because it's a 29-minute read. Now I'm thinking to myself, I might need to break this into like 3 or 4 parts. I think because the
Yeah.
average Substack reader has the attention span of a 5-year-old, so maybe I need to write it out in crayon and do
What?
it that way.
And writing on screens, or just writing on a screen. I'm not writing on a screen. If reading on a screen is not a preferred, way to do
No,
that for a lot of people,
I
right?
can't.
That
So
I
that's been
myself,
a difficult thing for me with reading fiction. For some reason, I
yeah,
can read nonfiction on my computer all day, but reading fiction on my computer it lands different, and
it does.
it's harder for me. That the short story that you did, Josh, that was it was like the 4th of July
yeah,
story where you kind of incorporated us all in. I don't think I told you I had to print that story out before I could read it
really.
because really getting super immersed in it for some reason, I don't know what the difference is between fiction and nonfiction, but like especially if it's a longer read, I have to print that shit out. I have to hold it in my hand because reading it on a screen is very difficult for
I
me.
can
I don't know why.
understand that. Like, I cannot read anything on my phone that's going to be more than 5 minutes or so. I have to at
Mm,
least, at the very least, I have to get back home and like your reanimator story that you had, or Kimberly, some of your ones that you do like on Sundays. I have to be home. At the very least, I can read it on my laptop. I'm normally okay with that, but I totally get that. So yeah,
yeah,
We could,
but
but I don't know. I do agree with Kyle. I do think that well, that's the thing that I've always loved about the horror community, on and off of Substack, like everywhere, whether it's Slasher or some other social network or even on YouTube. In the short time that I was there, it's the horror community has always been that way. We've always been, and I'm not trying to say it like we're the best community ever and we're
right.
cooler than everyone, but like we've always been very supportive of each other's work, and it's usually a two-way street, at least from what I've seen. And I feel like on the Substack there's a lot of that where it's not just about promoting your own shit. You're also engaging with other people's. And so you're not just promoting yourself, you are making friends. And I think that that is why we're stronger together, you know?
Yeah.
we could,
And there's you see so much negativity and beefs and different things like that. That
Especially on
Yeah.
Facebook, and I
yeah,
won't even go on Threads anymore. So
dude, you see it on
Oh, yeah,
Substack.
I'm off
Yeah.
threads now,
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
we
But
could,
what you never see
I
is like
mean,
the forum community.
go ahead, Sam.
Oh, sorry,
like
man.
I started Western New York Horror Crew for that reason. We're a crew. It's all local
Mhm.
people from Western New York getting together so we can have places to share our stuff. That's why I always try to bring local people to the events, or like I'll bring on somebody that's just starting a business. They can share some of my table space, and then they're able to get their own table the next time because they got their feet wet and they kind of got into it and everything. And it's all about us growing together, because we all have this passion and we're just trying to like share it.
Well, yeah, and I think it's so funny. Brian Wolford just said horror fans are great. That's why there are horror conventions. You don't see romantic comedy conventions, which is
No,
so
you can't.
true. It's so true. And I think
Yeah.
sometimes that it comes down to like that insatiable appetite for horror, because at least for me, I can't speak to other people, but like as much as I love writing about horror, and I do, and I could do it every day, but I want to watch it, I want to read it, I want to be engulfed in it at all times, like
Yeah.
so I will do anything I can to help other people write horror because I want to read it as much as I love writing it. And I don't know if that's necessarily the same thing with other genre communities, where they don't quite
Yeah.
maybe have that same insatiable appetite.
Yeah.
Mhm.
we, we
Well, and
could,
we're also like, there's no more forgiving community too. Like with the art that you're ingesting, right? Like,
Mhm.
I mean, horror fans are the most for like bad films, good. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like it's just they give
Right.
a lot of leadway. You know,
Well, we're the black
in
sheep
the,
too, so that's part of it, So we stick together because
Well,
we're the
yeah,
outcasts.
we're
Yeah.
there
in
you go.
that. We're not at the cool kids table at the
So we
lunchroom.
make our own table. Yeah.
Right, right.
I,
But
The
anyhow,
Monster Squad,
we-
right?
I,
Mhm.
go
I
ahead,
did.
George.
I started Abandoned Places. It was a horror anthology that I co-edited with somebody. I mean, we could do something like that or a zine,
I would love that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I
That's
was
cool.
thinking.
Yeah.
Like
like
a zine.
fiction or nonfiction or a combination of both. I mean,
Well,
Yeah.
that's
that's
something
like
that.
one of my future projects after I get done with this anthology that I've been working on. I'm either wanting to do a nonfiction thing where it breaks down horror throughout the decades, kind of. It's kind of a little bit of that series I wrote last year, like horror movies for novices. Only I wanted, instead of breaking it by subgenres, because that's really tricky, because there's so much overlap, I want to do it starting, like, call it what the golden age, 2030s and 40s, then go into 50s and 60s, and then the modern era of the 70s, 80s, 90s, and then whatever we want to call this postmodern era from the 2000s up. And it might be something that I might need some help on, some co-collaborators on, but that's like one thing that I've like thought about. But
Yeah, I think.
go
Oh,
ahead,
sorry, John.
Holly.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
Well, I just wanted to first, of course, we have Kimberly here, and wanted to bring her on and ask her a few questions, and then everyone else can feel free to ask. But so, Kimberly, what brought you? What led you? Because I think you're from like the Atlanta, Georgia area originally. Is that correct?
That's right.
And how did you find your way to Indonesia?
Oh, I was joking with somebody that the only thing that would ever have me move to a tropical country, unlike other people, I don't love heat and humidity, is love. And my husband's Indonesian. I met him when I was traveling here, and it just brought me back again and again. Got married. It made more sense for us to live here. So. Yeah, long story short, that's what I'm doing all the way over here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, so where did your love of this is a question I ask every new guest, but where did your love of horror start? Because I think I know the answer because you mentioned it in a post you had earlier this week. But go for it. What's where did your love of horror start?
Yeah, so probably a bit differently, from those of us here. I was comparatively late to loving horror film because it scared me really bad, for a while as a child. So mine started with just your classic ghost stories. The first one I remember was Dracula, and yeah, I just wrote about it. My dad gave this incredible narration of Dracula and the Jonathan Harker's carriage ride for me when I was, I don't know, 4 or 5, and I was hooked. But I was the nerd kid that would go to the library and just check out every spooky book that they had. And it was usually limited, so I'd recheck them again and again and again. And I was just insatiable. I couldn't get enough of like the children's cryptids and all of that. And then Poltergeist traumatized me at 5. And then I went through this period where, I'd be flicking through the channels, and it was the 80s. So, like, you're literally up at the TV, turning through the knob, and something scary would flash up. So it took me a while before I really felt ready to bring my love of horror to, the screen, something that was harder to sit and watch than just a page that I could cover up or turn really quickly. So my first full-on horror film that I watched by choice, of all things, it was at a Sunday school sleepover. As funny as that is, we were in 7th grade, at our teacher's house, and we watched the original Halloween. So I think it was a strong start. And I came home just obsessed. I had this little keyboard thing, and I was figuring out how to play the theme on the keyboard, and I think my family loved that, for days. But that was it. I was like, oh man, there's all these movies that I can watch too, and so it was a little harder to access because I was the only fan in my family. And, horror is one of those where people love it or hate it, and your friends are into it or they're terrified of it. So it can be hard to find folks to watch, with you, but I did my best. But I think that was it. I think Halloween, as far as horror films, Halloween was the origin for me.
That's a great origin story. I love it. I love that you watched Halloween at a Sunday school sleepover. That's one of my favorite things ever.
Right. Very, very. Oh, my dog's joining. Very, very unexpected. So I'm grateful for that.
I had a whole bunch of them.
That's cool.
When'd you? How long have you been on Substack now?
Well, so officially, I'm I'm sorry, we have a visitor. Officially, Josh, I think your and my Substack anniversary is around the same time. It's like end of January or so. So
Yeah,
that would be, oh God, it's April now. What is that like a
15 months.
year? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, officially that, but I didn't start posting anything with regularity until, of course, October. I was like, oh, let me get serious about this. It's spooky season. So, really, October was when I started posting on pretty much a weekly basis. So not too long. Yeah, I guess we're going out 5 months, 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah, really good. So what would to explain to everyone out there? Do you have a particular focus? And I kind of know what it is, but what's your focus when you're writing your Substack articles?
Mm. You know what? I'd say it's kind of split because I've got a couple of different things. When I came on Substack, I thought it would be more like essays, kind of exploring what
Hmm.
horror means to me and kind of like interplay between horror and mental health. I thought it would be more that in fiction. And then when I started playing around with which it's definitely that, but I figured out that fiction takes me a really long time. And I was like, I can't churn this out on a weekly basis. I'm going to be posting really slow. If I focus on fiction or even essays, it just takes me a while. So when I went to the newsletters, then it became, well, here's all the stuff I like to geek out on. Here's all the weird folklore and supernatural, spooky shit around the world and related films or related books. Like, I'm going to nerd out for a while, and whoever wants to come with me can join. And so that's a whole nother stream there. So it's more like, here's my haunted library is what I call it. Let me take you on my little ghosty trips. So I think
Well,
that's it.
that's
Does
one
that
of the
answer
reasons
your question?
I think so. I mean, and that's one of the reasons why I started doing these type of videos here on my YouTube channel is getting people together and just nerding out on horror. I like you use that term there because I guess we all kind of are in our own ways there. So um, I've enjoyed your articles, and you've been a great supporter of mine on Substack. So I'm like, well, we're gonna have to figure out a time somehow to get you on here, given the time difference and all that. So,
Yeah, thanks.
um,
This was great. Yeah.
does anyone else have any questions for Kimberly?
What is your all-time favorite horror movie if you had to pick one?
Oh man. I don't know why. Like, I completely like blank. Well, I either freeze or blank out when it comes to favorite. So can I give you a genre, or
Absolutely.
or
Yeah,
two? Yeah, a genre, or two
me
or three.
too.
So I'm definitely a big supernatural girly. I love a good haunted house film. I love a good possession or a cult or. Okay, I'm about to give you another folk horror. Like I love all of those. God, favorites. Rosemary's Baby will probably
Hmm.
always be up there. That's an awesome one. And oh, I had another, and it just flew out the window.
That's
Yeah,
okay. I promise.
yeah.
It's
Look
totally fine.
back.
That gives me a good idea. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Anybody else?
Anybody else here? I know I'm putting you on the spot here, there, because you're like the last guest of the evening.
On my screen, I'm like at the bottom, so it's like an interview. There's this panel. It's like, okay, do I get the job? Who's this? Like,
You're passing.
it's okay. If you're going to ask me questions about anything horror doesn't make me nervous. So this is a fun way to do
Well,
it.
here's one question I've been asking people throughout the evening is, do you have a go-to horror movie you like to watch on your birthday? since we've been on that subject.
Okay. Yeah, I was listening, when I was getting ready and thinking, "Oh, how am I going to answer?" And what I figured out is, there's not one that I always come back to on my birthday. It's more like, "Ooh, what am I going to watch? What am I going to
Mm-hmm.
discover?" Like I like to look for something new around my birthday, but I think February can be a particularly gross month here weather-wise.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if I was looking for something to rewatch around that time, it would probably be The Thing or, like a couple of horror series like The Terror where they're in cold climates and I
Uh-huh.
can just like zone out and watch ice and snow and people in winter clothing and just be there instead of in the humidity. So that's as
See,
close
That's a
as
good,
I can
that's
get.
it's a
so
good way
funny
to cool
because
off.
like
Yeah.
I think that's so funny because I only like to watch winter horror movies. Well, I mean, I'll watch them anytime, but my favorite time of year to watch movies like The Thing or Frozen or movies that are set in Arctic climates and like really bad winter weather. I love watching those in winter. And I always find it really fascinating when I hear people say that they love to watch wintry horror movies in the summer and summery horror movies in the winter. Because for some reason, my brain just doesn't, I don't know why, but like all I do when I watch like a summery movie in the winter is like wish that it was summer. I don't know. I just find that so interesting.
It's like your
Um,
Yeah.
brain won't
so,
suspend disbelief or
yeah, my
something
brain
like,
won't let
no, it
go of
can't be
it.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
We
just
don't
think that's
really
really
have
cool.
seasons here, so I have to create them, like
Oh,
I
neat.
go see my folks twice a year, but I'm from Georgia and it's usually just not that cold in
Yeah.
December. So,
Mhm.
I get my snow and ice kind of isolation where I can.
Oh, that's
Nice.
interesting.
Awesome.
I love
Hey
that.
Josh,
I
I have to hop off. My daughter, she volunteers through theater for our local farm baseball team.
I totally
Um,
understand. My daughter's in theater as well, so
okay, well they're done.
Bye,
She just
Kyle.
texted me. Yeah. Hey, I was gonna say real quick. You were asking, and Kimberly B, it's nice to meet you. Um, and I'm actually from Kentucky, so I'm up around Nashville area, so wasn't too far from you, but before Indonesia anyway. But you had asked about a movie, a horror movie that we love that other people may not really care about, right? I'm gonna
right.
leave. I'm gonna say this when I hop off here. And I love some of the Howling sequels that people hate.
Mm-hmm.
So the Howling 3, the Marsupials.
Oh,
I'm carrying water for that one. So talk amongst yourselves.
right.
So, but yeah, I love the second one. I love the third one, and the fifth one where they're in the castle. Um,
I don't,
the
that
Rebirth,
one I haven't seen yet.
yeah, Rebirth, and then Freaks, the sixth one where there's a
I
vampire
haven't
in it.
seen the sixth one. The
Oh,
second
it's
one's my
awesome.
favorite, but I haven't seen the
Okay,
sixth
yeah.
one.
the second one's
Yeah.
so good. It's just
I love
Yeah.
it.
ridiculous.
I love the third one too, though, for
Yeah, it's
sure.
awesome. There's like it's kind of
Yeah.
deep. There's some depth to it. It's an interesting movie. So
I guest
maybe
starred on a podcast covering the second one.
Oh,
really.
nice.
Oh, I
Yeah.
gotta watch that.
I saw that. I haven't
Yeah.
seen it yet, but yeah, I have to
Hmm.
check
Which,
that out.
which one? The third one, Josh?
No, she was talking about the second. Was it the second one? Yeah,
Yeah, my
Hmm.
third
Yeah.
one.
Christopher,
Yeah,
the one with
Yeah.
Christopher Lee.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's like it's a terrible movie, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you have to like
Absolutely.
literally watch that for your birthday. There's some things in it you'll probably really like. You'll
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about when you watch it.
Well, yeah, I
So
know what you're talking about. They had to show it like 5 times
yes.
at the
And
very
that
end.
song, that song, I think they wrote it for the movie, but it's awesome. It is like a banger of a song too, though.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
So,
I
but
think we're
anyway,
slowly killing Brian Wolford with the Howling sequels talk. We've got
oh
oof
man,
and double oof.
well, I
that's
did like the movie for me that a lot of people hate, or at least have never had a kind word to say that I do really like, is Dario Argento's Dracula 3D. Um, that's what. In fact, I think I wrote about that one last October. Um, it's so absurd of a movie, and I don't know what drugs Dario was on when he made it, but it's so damn bad. It's fucking hilarious. I just love that movie, and it's one I'm gonna have to revisit here pretty soon, I think. But
Did you see it in 3D or just?
no, I've only
Okay.
seen it. I didn't see it in the theaters. Came out 2013. I wish I had. I don't think it was in the theaters that long. I watched it about 3 or 4 years ago for the first time on Tubi, and you could see. I mean, let's put it this way: it's so ridiculous because there's a part where Dracula transforms into a giant praying mantis, a CGI praying mantis.
Oh God, it got worse.
Yes. And why Argento, who's like one of the masters of practical effects, decided to resort to using this weird CGI. There's a time where Dracula transforms into an owl at one point. But he's the most brutal Dracula because there's this scene where he just destroys like the whole city council because they're in league together. They know what Dracula is, but because he's so wealthy, he keeps the town going. So they kind of look the other way, but then they start plotting. Then he shows up and just decapitates all of them, and it's just so batshit crazy. And
Sounds incredible.
And his daughter's in it too, Asia Argento. She's in the movie as well. So it's it's one of those movies if you just want to have fun with and not take it too seriously. Rutger Hauer plays Van Helsing, and he's terribly out of place in the movie, but it's that's one. And I'll throw it to you. I'll throw it to you first, Sam. I don't think I've asked you the question. Is there a movie that you really like that everyone else hates?
A movie that I like that everyone else hates. Oh man, I didn't think of that. I thought I was gonna get hit with the birthday movie question.
Well, you can have that one too. If you want to do your birthday movie first, and then the movie that you love that everyone hates.
Yeah, I could. Well, I mean, I can do the spot. I'll do the first question first.
Okay.
The movie that I like everybody else hates. I love the Killjoy movies. I'm a sucker for clown movies. And I love the fact that Killjoy is also kind of a clown from hell, like we're getting with Terrifier. So kind of a cool cross there and everything. And I just think they're hysterical. And I know most people can't stand them.
I've never seen them. I need to see them.
Full Moon.
Yeah, and I love Full Moon. That's the thing. Like, I don't know why I've never seen the Killjoy movies. Liam, my boyfriend, was he just mentioned to me a couple days ago, and I was like, I really need to see those. And now you're talking about, I really need to see them.
Yeah, you do. They have a box set. I have a box set that has, I think, like the first 3.
Oh wow. Yeah. That's something I need to invest in. Find a Full Moon DVD or Blu-ray box set or something of all their stuff.
Oh, that reminds
There's
me.
a dollar store near us. It was like a Dollar General, they're called. They're like usually like $5 or whatever. And it turns the early 2000s, I think it was like from 2000 to like 2003, you could get Full Moon box sets for $5. And
oh my God, that's
great. My mind was like blown.
I'm gonna have to look those up.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Do they even know what they have here? So I scooped up everyone I could find. And they had a Ginger Dead Man one, and then a one that was like zombie movies. And like, it was just a really, really neat find. You know, it's something pretty cool that they did.
I wanted to show you guys. I was really excited about this because I don't get to buy books very often. That's not a thing I get to do. But last month when I decided to start working on the nonfiction project that I'm working on, I was like, okay, I'm going to buy some books for research. And then it like justifies it to me in my head. It's like, I'm not just buying the books for fun. I'm buying them for this practical purpose of research, etc. So anyway, I don't get to buy books very often. And I just bought this book and I love it. I don't know if you can see it.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
That looks
it's a complete, like, basically like the definitive guide to Full Moon, and I'm so excited to start reading it. I haven't gotten to it yet because I'm not there yet in my research, but I'm going to read the hell out of this. Anyway, sorry. Thank you for letting me show that off. Okay, and back to you guys.
And what's a favorite birthday horror movie for you then?
Return of the Living Dead Part 2,
Mm,
which I
Okay.
mm.
feel is the best zombie kids movie. Like anytime anybody's like, "All right, I know you love zombies. Recommend something I can watch with my kids." I'm like, "Return of the Living Dead Part 2." Like so good. And Jesse was so relatable, the young character in it, and he loves comics and I loved comics, and it was just zombies, and him and his sister's relationship through the whole movie was really cool cuz like my brother and I are kind of really close too, but that we picked on each other when we were younger. So
Hmm.
like I like the whole dynamic of that, and then with like the bully becoming a zombie, and of course in the whole Return Living Dead universe, sorry spoilers for anybody that hasn't seen any of them, the zombies are very conscious, I should say, so like they'll ask for more paramedics or, more brains or something. They're a little bit like more creative, which is kind of fun too, because you have like this kids movie with like a kid becoming a zombie, but then being like, oh, I'm still gonna fuck over this kid I've been bullying even when I was alive, so like it's just it's a really neat movie, and I love watching it around my birthday, and it's one that I've seen like so many times just cuz it's so great. Like all those movies are just so good, and the soundtrack and the score is so great, and just so many fantastic references.
I think that's such
Awesome.
a great choice.
Yes.
Sorry, can I very quickly respond to the chat?
Sure.
Mhm.
So Brian Wolford said there's a documentary called Direct to Video that's all about the glory period of movies going to TV. So Brian, really quickly, I just want to say I have been looking for that movie for weeks because that is exactly the book that I am currently writing. I'm writing a book on direct to video horror movies. And I know that the direct to video documentary is the definitive and I think only documentary that's specifically about direct video horror and the boom of like the 80s and 90s, and I have been looking for it everywhere and cannot find it. If anyone in this room right now, including Brian Wolford in the chat, knows where one can find the direct-to-video documentary, please tell me, because I have been pulling my hair out trying to locate it. It's
I'll
out of
check
print. You
my
can't get it in physical
inventory.
copy. Oh my God, seriously, like
Yeah, I might
yeah,
even
sorry,
have
just
it.
I couldn't believe that Brian brought that up because I have been, see, and now here's the thing is I've gone to two different links, one on Vudu and one on a different platform to purchase it, and it wasn't available on either of them anymore.
Uh,
So anyway, again, sorry, did not mean to detract from what we were
oh,
talking
that's
about.
all
But
right.
I couldn't believe that he brought that up because, yeah, I am currently on the hunt for that movie.
Awesome. Well, yeah, that's good to know. That's good information, and also for the people watching, who watch this now or watching it later, will probably want to know that information too. If we
Yeah.
come across that, I'll ask you, Kimberly. Is there a movie that horror movie you absolutely love that everyone else just really doesn't like? Is there one in particular?
Yeah, so I don't know that this is one that people don't like, but it feels like a little bit of like a secret shame, like people have either never heard of it or maybe think it's ridiculous or stupid, but I love it, and it scared the crap out of me when I saw it like 20 years ago, and I think the name, I'll check really quick, but I think the name is Darkness Falls. And
Oh,
okay, okay, it's known. All right. And well, and so it's about just checking. Oh yeah, 2003. It's been a while. That's it.
Okay,
Yes, so
it's a
so it's
different one
about
I was thinking about, but go ahead.
okay, yeah, yeah, there's a lot of similar names, and that's why I had to look, but it's about the this like vengeful spirit that haunts this little town, and they call her the Tooth Fairy, and I forget exactly how that comes into it or if she starts haunting you when you lose your teeth. I don't remember, but her whole shtick was once you're the target and once she's haunting you, um she can only get you the second you cross out of the light. She comes at night, and you must always stay in the light. And whatever it was about her when I watched the film, she just completely creeped me out. And it was not a movie I expected to scare me. I thought it was just going to be good times. But her sound design was really, really creepy. And just the whole way that they did her was really unsettling. And so the movie finished, and I mean, for like 3 days after it, I was like, flipping on lights in the hall, and there were night lights, and I was just really like tiptoeing around in the darkness after this ridiculous movie, and I felt so embarrassed that it had scared me. But then I love that. Like, if a movie scares me, I'm thrilled. It takes a lot. So I've watched it a couple times since, and I'm a fan. I liked Darkness Falls. It scared me, as strange and difficult as that is to do. So that's
I'm
mine.
gonna have to add that to my watch list. That's awesome.
Well, I
Yeah,
had the
yeah. Let
same
me know what you think.
effect.
At
Yeah,
first,
and when I saw
Hey.
it too, I was turning on lights and just being like,
Mhm.
"Ooh, I kind of got to stay in some light." Like they did a
I
great
got
job
chills.
with just the creepiness of it,
Yeah.
especially when they were in like the stairwells and stuff. It just
Yes.
was,
Ooh, she
uh,
was shivering.
yeah,
Thank you, Sam. I feel like a bit
yeah,
validated now, because like I just was not expecting to be scared.
yeah,
Like you
yeah.
want it, but I was like, oh, this is just going to be fun, and oh, it wasn't. It was, but it was not.
I think
Oh,
that
that's great.
I think that's based on a book by Graham Joyce, who was like an English writer who wrote horror and fantasy and dark
Ah.
fantasy. I think I read the
That's
book.
cool.
I never saw the movie, but the book was really good.
Oh,
okay.
that is good to know. I will be looking that up right after this. Thanks, George. You're always really good with the books and the references. I'm always taking notes,
I work
like
at a
whenever
library.
George is commenting on something. Sorry?
I work at a library.
Aha!
There we
Oh,
go.
it all makes sense now. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Oh my God, a resident librarian. How lucky
I
are
was just
we?
thinking we now
Oh,
have a
it's
Yeah,
resident
incredible.
nice.
librarian now.
That is
Part
incredible.
Amazing.
It's like, and that would have been a career path, like in an alternate life. Like,
Mm,
oh, why didn't I think of that, long ago? Cool.
Excellent. Well, okay. I was like thinking because there was another movie
Thank you, Brian.
in
Sorry. I'm
in
sorry. Go ahead.
England. Well, it was a British horror film that came out in, I don't know, sometime in the 2010s. I want to say 2015. In England, it was called Darkness Falls, but here in the United States, it was called The Sitter, and
See, I
that's
think
what.
that's what I was thinking of because it's an older movie, right?
Ah.
Yeah, the one she's talking about came out in 2003. The Sitter, or AKA Darkness Falls, came out, I don't know,
Look this
2015,
up.
and it's a movie that reminds me a little bit of Ty West House of the Devil, just because it kind of follows the same progressions a little bit. College
Hmm.
kid is basically house sitting, and there's this cult and all that, and it's like whenever I do have time to do another side by side movie review like I did with Red Dragon and Manhunter, I'm gonna compare those two movies because even though it's not a remake, it almost feels like it could have been, and I just want to
Hmm.
compare. It's a good movie. It's not as good as House of the Devil, but
Hmm.
it was like one I was thinking about. But
House of the Devil is like nothing happens, nothing happens, nothing happens. Holy crap! Nothing happens, nothing happens. Holy crap!
I love that movie, but that
Oh
is
yeah,
such an accurate
yeah,
summation. Like,
yeah.
well,
yeah.
and we were talking about Joe Bob Briggs. When I first watched House of the Devil, it wasn't too long ago. It was on an episode that he did, and he explained even when it seems like nothing's happened, there are some things happening if you pay attention to it. And of course, that's a good example of a slow burn horror movie that I can like because I like the main character
Yeah.
in that. So it keeps
hmm
me engaged enough because I'm following her in this creep, and I'm a sucker for big creepy house movies anyway. Because I'm
yeah.
like, man, that's a cool looking house. Most people, I wouldn't say there goes. I'd buy that house and live there, providing a satanic cult didn't come by and kill me. But
I was just so impressed with how well he nailed the era to the point where when you're watching House of the Devil, if you don't know any better, it
Yeah.
really does look like you are watching a movie from the 80s. It feels like it. It looks like it.
Yeah.
The opening credit sequence is, I think, probably one of my
Oh yeah.
favorites.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's such an immersive experience in terms of like a period piece. The only thing that I didn't love about House of the Devil, and I do love it. I think it's a great movie. The only thing I didn't really love was how you immediately knew. Was it Tom Noonan? Is that the
Yes.
wrong actor? Yeah,
My man Tom Noonan, the best
yeah.
tooth
But
fairy.
you automatically knew that he and his wife were villains, and
Oh
I
yeah.
wish that they had dialed that back just a little bit more, like Rosemary's Baby, where
Uh-huh.
you don't. They kind of present as normal at first, you know what I mean? That's the only complaint I have about that
Yeah.
entire film. Every other frame of that movie I think is perfect. I just wish they would have dialed back on the overt villainy of the couple from the beginning.
Tom Noonan could come walking down the street dressed as Jesus Christ, and you'd be scared
He
of
still
him.
look. Yeah,
You know,
it's true.
yeah,
It's true.
that's just Tom Noonan. That's why he was perfect casting. And I mentioned this when he played the Tooth Fairy, and I forget the um, whatever in 1986's Manhunter is like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
this guy I would not mess around with.
Yeah. I love that moment when he opens the door and she sees him for the first time, and all we see is him from like his chest
Yeah.
down because he's so much taller than her.
Right.
And I was really happy for that actress too. I can't remember her name right now, and I feel awful for that because what I was really happy about is prior to being cast in House of the Devil, she had only been in a few movies, and every single role she ever played was like cute girl, hot girl, pretty girl. That was literally it. And so I love that she was cast in House of the Devil, and not just that, but given a lead role and a really memorable role. I felt like she deserved it because she's a wonderful actress, you know. So,
Jocelyn Donahue. That's the actress's name.
Jocelyn Donahue, thank you. Yeah, she was so good.
I'd
in
like to
House of the
see
Devil.
her do more stuff. I wish, it's like sometimes I see like I watch especially newer movies and like the lead actress is just terrible, and I'm thinking, man, that's a role that so and so should have gotten, or this person should have gotten, and she's the name that always comes up in my brain. Man, I wish you. Because there was another movie I saw her in a few years later she was good in, and for the life of me I can't think of the name of the movie, but when I think of it I'll at 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever I'm like, oh
Right.
yeah, that was the name. They were like in a there was kind of like a kind of a slasher woods movie, not quite, but it was kind of in that type of genre, and she was pretty good in that one as well.
Did she play? Am I remembering it completely wrong? Did she not play the Shelley Duvall character in Doctor Sleep, or was that somebody? Was that somebody else?
That was
That might be-
somebody else, and
Okay.
and I can't think of the actress's name, but I know who you're talking about. I just can't think of her name. But
All right. Well, then never mind. For some reason, I was picturing that as Jocelyn Donahue in my head, but yeah, it's not. Never mind.
if it is, I'll be the first to admit that I'm wrong. But yeah,
I don't think you are. I think I'm wrong.
excellent. Okay, so we've gotten into that. What else? I was like trying to think of something else. Well, I know, Molly, I know you're a fan of the Scream series, and we were talking about this way back in the beginning of the show. Have you seen Scream 7 yet?
No, I won't be watching it. I'm
Okay.
done. Yeah.
Skyla
Yeah, I
had
just-
the same opinion. She was like, hard pass. But
Yep. I was, to be perfectly honest, I was done when I saw 4. 4, I didn't like 4. I didn't want
I think that was the last one I saw.
Yeah, I really loved the way. I know that not everybody is wild about Scream 3. That's another one of my movies that I love that a lot of people hate. I love Scream 3. I love the ending that they gave, especially to Sydney, Gale, and Dewey. I feel like they deserved a happy ending. And I was pissed that they even made 4 and took that happy ending away from them. But then, so I watched it and I'm like, this is fine. I don't feel like we need it, but it's fine. And, that was kind of my feeling of it. So when 5 came out, I was already on the outs with the Scream franchise because I was content with the trilogy. I didn't need the story to go on anymore. 5 came out and kind of wrote me back in a little bit because I'm such a sucker for fan service. And there was a lot of it in 5. And I really liked that we got to see some very big, vulnerable acting from Courtney Cox. I really liked what was going on with Gail in 5. And so I was like, all right, fine. I guess I'm back. Like, I guess I'll, but then I saw 6 and I just hard breakup. I just never again will I let Scream do to me what they did to me in 6. And then when I found out that they were commenting on AI in Scream 7, that was the real kicker for me, where it's like, yeah, I'm just done. So
Yeah.
I'm done.
I had asked because, it had a big opening weekend and then it just dropped off badly, and everything I had heard about it was not good. So it's like,
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll be putting that movie on the franchise on the shelf for a few years or
Well, I think
what.
it's time, and I think they know it's time, because I
Yeah.
don't think that they would have brought back so many of the original actors if they weren't desperately clamoring for people to continue to care. I mean, I think that it felt like it. Yeah. Did you guys ever see? Sorry, did you guys ever see the film version of Chicago? The musical
No.
Chicago. Anyway, she steps up to the podium and the narrator is like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Velma Kelly in an act of desperation." That's what I kept feeling when I was reading all the news about Scream 7. It just, every single thing that came out, I'm like, yep, they're desperate. They're really they really want people to watch Scream 7. And yeah, I don't know. I don't mean to be so mean about it. It's just, I feel like the show kind of broke my heart.
Yeah.
And so it's a bitter breakup. And yeah, I'm sorry for the actors involved if it doesn't do well, because I
Right.
want good things for them.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I love Kevin Williamson. I've always had such respect for him as a writer, and I was really thrilled that he was finally going to get to direct a Scream movie. But yeah, nope.
Brian just said that Scream 8 is already in pre-production, so I guess they're not
Jesus.
gonna shelf it. But
Well, then, if they're going to do that, they need to, at the very least, incorporate time travel into the Scream franchise at this point, because it's been long enough, and we need a time traveling Scream movie. That's the only way that I'll get back on board.
it seems to me, I mean, and I don't really, I don't really have I don't really have any stake in it, but it seems to me they just need to restart it with, well, they were kind of doing it a little bit, but it's like, how many times can the same person survive the same scenario over and over? It's either kill them all off or just start off in a whole new setting with just a totally different cast, with almost like a reboot, I guess, where you just have the same scenario a little bit, only I don't know what you do with it, with the series, with the
I just
famous
feel like
redo endings and all that, but
yeah, I just feel like it's we don't. All it is formulaic masked killer slasher movies. We can do that with anything. Make new masks, create new characters. Like don't. It doesn't. It's one of the simplest genres to reimagine. So there's really no reason other than brand recognition. There's really no reason to continue the franchise.
That's what it is. It's brand recognition. But you think they would have learned their lesson. Oh, look what Terrifier just did. A brand new slasher. Whether you like the movies or not, they became a big hit and they created a new iconic character. They've kind of done the same thing with Black Phone. With that character, they were kind of trying to do it with the Hatchet series, which I'm a big fan of. It
Huge
just
fan
got
of Hatchet.
caught.
Yeah.
That series just got caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, because it came out right in the middle of the remake phase that was going on in the 2000s. Had that movie came out 10 years later, it would have been probably as big of a success, because I think I like them way better than I do Terrifier for various different reasons, but it would have been a bigger success, I think.
Yeah, something that really kind of, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to talk so much, but like something that really kind of really messed with my head a little bit. One of the courses I'm taking in college right now is a media storytelling and the creative process. And for one of our more recent assignments, we had to watch a documentary called Everything is a Remix. And it was a very interesting documentary that really made me think about my stance on things like, remakes and stuff like that. Because it was sort of just taking a look at how everything that's ever been created is derivative of something else, and that there's really nothing shameful about taking somebody else's material and making it your own. And I think that's where my problem comes in with these long-running franchises, is that, and don't get me wrong, I love some of these long-running franchises. I love Halloween. I love Friday the 13th. And I loved the Saw movies. Like, I will watch 8, 9, 10 movies set in the same universe. But after a while, I look around and I'm thinking, why are we not we're not really remixing anything anymore. We're just recycling things and changing very little about them. Because, again, it comes back to brand recognition, so they don't want to change it too much. It needs to be familiar enough, that people will come back. So we're just not, and I don't know, it really bothers me. So that's kind of where I'm at with a lot of these long-running franchises. It's just like, I just tell the same exact story that you want to tell in Scream 8. But put a different mask on the killer and rename all the characters. Put them in a different town. And even that alone would be enough for me at this point,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they could. What's the name of the main character? Sydney?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have they made her the killer yet?
No, I really hope they never do. But
You
no.
should do that. That would end the series.
That would end the series, probably. Hopefully.
People wouldn't expect it.
Anyway, I didn't mean to be so leg down on it. I know some people really do like the later Scream movies. I know Brian in the chat was talking about liking 5 and 6, and I get it. I get why people like them. I don't know. I'm getting tired. I really like Sinners. I like the Terrifier movies. I have a lot of respect for them anyway. I enjoyed the first one. And I like Black Phone. I like seeing the new. I loved Hard Eyes, and not a lot of people loved that one, but I loved it because I'm like, cool, new slasher, new mask, totally,
Right.
let's do more of that. Yeah.
I agree. Anyone else want to chime in on that topic about?
Well,
I guess that's a good term, remixes, because that's really what they've become in a lot of ways.
I'm afraid that what I do is I saw the first Halloween, and then I saw the second Halloween once, and then I never saw any more of them again.
Yeah.
Like if I
See,
like a movie,
and I love Halloween too, so it's like,
right?
yeah.
If I like a movie, I won't watch any of the sequels. Like I watched the first one, I might have watched the second Scream. That's it. So like I kind of
I get that though. Like, I get why we like sequels, but I get not watching them. I'm very flip-floppy about it. There are some movies where I'll never watch the sequel because I feel like it was just a perfect standalone film. And then there are some movies where I can't help myself. So I get that.
See, I think the original Halloween should have ended with Donald Pleasance going outside, finding Michael Myers crawling on the sidewalk and just putting a bullet to his head. And that would be I think that would have been a perfect ending to Halloween. I'm alone in that.
He would have just gotten back up
I would
again.
have got fired pretty quick from the studio.
They're just shouting, "It's not that simple, George." It's Michael.
Why not?
Sometimes as simple is best, and when you try to overcomplicate things, because Halloween has branched off into I don't know how many timelines now, about at least 3 or 4, and that's not if you don't count the Rob Zombie films. Those are films that I really enjoy. That a lot of people, it's 50-50 split, I think, on those films. Some people really, I think if you're a Rob Zombie fan, you'll love them. If you're not going to like them, more than likely.
Someone wrote a book called Shatner Quake, which was about all of the different TV versions of Bill Shatner fighting it out, like P.J. Hooker fighting Captain Kirk. So they should do that with the Halloween, all the different Michael Myers of the different franchises.
Well, I've often said I want to
What
see
is
a
that
Halloween.
book called?
Oh, Shatner Quake.
I need to read that.
Yeah, it's a Bizarro book. It's good. It's pretty. I think Jeff Burke wrote it. It's pretty good.
I would love to read that.
I always wanted to see a Halloween. What Halloween Ends should have been was a Halloween multiverse movie where, just for no other reason, every single character, you have like 4 or 5 different Michael Myers running around Haddonfield. About 2 or 3 versions of Laurie Strode, 2 or 3 versions of. Man, we can't bring Donald Pleasance back, unfortunately, even though they half-assed it in Halloween Kills. But you have your Jamie Lloyds, you have your John, Laurie's son in H2O would be, and
Just watch in 2028. It'll come out.
Yeah.
you,
The
and you
Halloween
also
multiverse.
and you also have to have Tom Atkins sitting at a bar somewhere grabbing a waitress's butt or whatever, and he's sitting at the bar with Buster Rhymes, just watching TV while shit's going by. But
Hey, I
I
was
think
set up at a convention once at the table across from him, and
oh
he
well,
was a sweetheart,
I
Tom
hear that.
Atkins. And he came over and he talked to us all weekend. Everybody that was helping him at his booth, he remembered everybody's name. The next day, he asked everybody about how their night went and how
that's
dinner
so
was and
sweet.
everything. And he was just such a
Oh, I
sweetheart,
know.
like
I've heard
such a sweetheart.
nothing but kind words about people's
Yeah,
interaction
he
with him.
remembered everyone's name. Like
Oh wow.
everybody that was tabled around him, he remembered all our names. Like it was just,
That's so
he was
cool.
such a sweetie. Yeah.
Oh, I love Tom Atkins.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
think it would be great if every long running franchise was required to eventually go the New Nightmare route, where it's like, okay, you can make 8
Oh,
sequels, but your final sequel has to be a meta story where it's just about the making of the movie, and we just have the actors playing themselves, and we get that bleed over. It has to be. I feel like that
I
would
would
probably
love
make me.
I would love for them to do that so much for Hellraiser. It would be
Oh yeah,
so great to see Doug Bradley, Ashley Lawrence, and Clive Barker being in the movie himself.
wouldn't that
Uh,
be great?
that would
Yeah.
be, and do the same thing with Halloween. Do the same thing with Reanimator. Could you imagine
Oh my
that
God. Well,
guy now?
if it would get Jeffrey Combs back in the fucking set playing Herbert West, I will be up for anything. I
Oh,
will
I'm sure. I'm sure.
anything. Yeah, I would love to see that. Like just that peek behind the curtain, because eventually, like I feel like that's where you've got to go. You can only go so far before you have to really, start peeling the curtain back and start commenting on your own franchise. And I think it would be really fun to see Scream. I would have been more into the idea of a meta Scream movie where Nev Campbell and Matthew Lillard and all of the actors that they've brought back are just
Uh,
playing themselves, and or make Stab 1 be the next
right.
Scream movie,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
something just a little bit more exciting and a little bit bigger, a little bit more different. I think would be really cool.
Would any of us want to see, like, we had a Jason versus Freddy movie way back over 20 years ago. What would any of us want to see, like, any other crossovers? I mean, I wrote a fan fiction that crossed over Halloween with Hellraiser. What would be some other crossovers you would love to see?
I want to see the film adaptation of Herbert West versus Reanimator, or Herbert West versus Army of Darkness. I want to see the
That'd be
film
amazing.
adaptation of that.
I think they did a comic book version of that actually.
Yeah,
They
they did.
did, yeah.
Yeah, they
That's
did.
what I'm saying. I want to see
Yeah,
the film adaptation of that comic.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Uh,
want the Herbert West Ash Williams crossover really badly, and especially now with things kind of being up in the air with Bruce Campbell's health. Now is the time to do it. We need the
yeah,
two of them together on screen.
that would be. I mean, yeah, that would be epic to
Mhm.
see that. Well, Skyla, is there like 2 movies you'd like to see a crossover? I think your mic's muted.
Oh,
Hmm. Sorry, the screens are so small I can barely see you guys. I didn't notice that
Yeah,
Skylar was talking.
yeah.
Mm.
See if she got her sound ready.
oh, no.
No.
Okay. We'll come back. Kimberly, were there like 2? She's gonna try and reset it here. Okay.
Huh?
We'll see if she pops back up over there.
Aw.
Kimberly, is there like if you wanted to see a crossover type of movie, horror movie, what would you like to see?
Okay, yeah, so this is like the height of absurdity, and I have no idea like how the hell the plot would work because it just wouldn't. But if I'm looking for a crossover, yeah, I want something that's just absurd and ridiculous. And so my first thought was, who could we pit like Pazuzu, like the Exorcist kind of up against? You know, could we have like Damien versus? But that makes no sense. But yeah, it's like I'd love to see two like very serious, iconic characters that scared people, and then just create something ridiculous with
But it
it,
wouldn't
you
even
know,
have
and
to
that
be
could
a
be fun.
versus movie. It could be a team up movie where
Yeah,
Damien.
That's what I was thinking.
Because that's
like
that's what I
masterminds.
because that's what I
Yeah.
did with my stories. I made Pinhead and the Cenobites. They were in league with Michael Myers or whatever, and I did it that way instead of having them fight one another. Because to me that would make no sense. Um, so that's what I had done. But you could do that, Pazuzu and Damien
Yeah.
versus a whole bunch
Annabelle.
of Catholic priests. Annabelle,
Yeah, he's
there you go.
making an army. Oh yeah, Annabelle. That was another. Yeah, I was like, who could go up against Annabelle? That would be a lot of fun to watch, actually.
Brian
Well,
Wolfert's Leprechaun versus Wishmaster. That would be
I
amazing.
keep forgetting about the
Yeah.
chat. Let me pull this up. Let's see.
See, I made the chat bigger so that I could read it when we were talking about it before, and now I don't know how to make it go away. So
okay.
you guys are teeny tiny little boxes, and so it's just me and Brian in the chat now.
I only know.
Skyla,
Now
can we
it's
hear
gonna
you
go
now?
away.
Can you hear me? I'm not-
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
That makes
yay.
sense now. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was trying to talk earlier, and I was like, huh.
I thought you were
Can
being
hear
really
me?
quiet, but I thought, maybe. I was like,
Yeah,
Skylar's not said anything for a very long time.
But what I was trying to say earlier, I was bouncing off of Molly. I would like to see like the Freddy versus Jason versus Ash comic.
Okay.
Yes,
Because
that would be great too.
I love that comic, and it also ties in Halloween because he goes to a train station and it says Haddonfield, Illinois, as one of the Easter eggs.
Oh, so just bring them all together.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that would be the ultimate horror movie for fans, really.
If I ever write a fan fiction story again, it's going to be Herbert West resurrecting Nancy Thompson from Nightmare on Elm Street, so we can bring her back somehow. I don't know how I would go about doing it, but
I'm already on board.
Yeah.
I already want to do it.
I would probably incorporate the tall man in that from
Yeah.
Phantasm, just because he's known for also resurrecting shit. So it might end up being a Herbert West versus tall man type of thing. I don't know.
I don't know if you guys ever saw it. I posted this on Substack way back in the day. It was a video demo I did. It's basically a lot of my art, but it's like a concept for a fighting game of all the horror characters.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So it's kind of a crossover
Very cool.
there. And if you pause, you can see like some of the story of the game, quote unquote. But it's kind of similar in that there's a different team. Like Freddy would be the main villain, and there's the good guys, which is Ash and all of them. But that's from way back in the day. But if you guys are interested, it's there.
I'll have to
I would love to see that. That sounds really
find that.
Yeah. That's awesome. And any time that we've ever had that where there's been like a major slasher villain, I say any time, but I can only think of one example. But I remember, what was it, Mortal Kombat 10, where you could play
why.
Freddy Krueger. Yeah, and I loved that. It was so much fun. So I would love to see a whole game that's just like nothing but that. That would be so cool.
It was actually both Jason and Leatherface were in Mortal Kombat.
Yes, Leatherface. He was
and
okay.
Alien
Yeah,
and Predator. And
that would be so cool. Yeah.
In the newest one, Ghostface is in it.
Okay.
Which is kind of
I haven't
funny
played a Mortal Kombat game it's 10.
But also, I think that's a funny choice because Ghostface, in comparison to the average Mortal Kombat character, is going to die.
Yeah.
Because he's just a
Yeah.
dude. Yeah. Well, and that,
Yeah.
but that's what I thought when they brought Ghostface into Dead by Daylight.
Hmm.
I thought kind of, I don't know if you guys are you guys,
Yeah, I
is
played.
anybody Dead by Daylight fan anywhere?
Yeah.
I know of Dead
Yep.
by
Okay.
Daylight.
I know
Well,
that.
because I was like, well, okay, so obviously, everybody that exists in Dead by Daylight, it's a kind of purgatory, so they're not really human anymore. But of all the characters that they brought into Dead by Daylight, Ghostface was the most confusing to me as a villain because I'm like, what are they going to do with him?
Yeah.
Because he's not a supernatural killer. He never has been. So and they didn't make it. He just crouches down and sneaks around.
Yeah, I think that's why like the Scream franchise. I like Scream, but I think that's why it's always been kind of at the bottom of my list in terms of like
Mhm.
slashers because I'm like he's just a dude, and he's a klutz. Like
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
is
he's
the
a total
most.
klutz.
He's the
Complete
easiest
klutz.
guy to beat.
Yeah. Oh man, I hate to do this, guys, but I think I've got to go.
Well, I was gonna say it's probably about time to wind down here. Any last thoughts from any of you? George, you've been
Yeah.
here since the very beginning.
Okay. Yeah. How about the Deadites from Evil Dead versus John Carpenter's The Thing?
Oh, I like that.
Ooh,
That would be perfect.
Ooh,
well, that's a
That'd
good
be great.
That's good.
would watch. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I also have to say that in Japan, there's the Grudge movies, and then there's also the woman who comes from the well.
Yeah.
What the hell is that called?
Oh,
Ringo.
Ringu.
Ring. Yeah, the
In
Ring.
Japan, it's
Ringu.
Ringu.
And they
Yeah.
made a movie where the two characters fought, like
Oh wow.
from the
Yeah,
Grudge.
they did.
I
I
knew you were
remember
gonna say
that.
that, so you
Yeah.
just said Japan.
Yeah, it was not a great movie. It was by the guy who made The Curse, which is interesting
Oh.
because The Curse is such. I thought it was a really good
That's a good
Japanese
movie.
found footage movie, and then they did Sadako versus Kayoko, and it was just like, okay. That's all I have to say.
And Sam, you had one.
Yeah, so my crossover would be Freddy and Chucky. I would love to see
Oh,
Freddy and Chucky
that's good
interacting.
personalities.
That'd be hilarious. So many
Yeah.
one-liners. So many
I'd
quippy
like
one-liners.
it to be like a buddy movie, where they're
Right.
like
Yeah.
on a
Yeah,
road
I
trip
would.
or something.
I could see that.
They bond.
Mhm.
It was so nice seeing all of you guys. I'm sorry I have to run quickly. It's just they're going to bed, so I got to go. But it was so
Okay.
nice to see all of you.
Bye, Molly.
Kimberly,
Nice
so
to meet
nice to
you.
finally meet you.
You
George,
too.
Nice to meet you.
see you guys later. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.
Good night.
All right, good night.
Good night.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, everyone, I've been at it. Really, me and George been at it from the very beginning. Oh wow, 3 hours and 39 minutes about. So I knew this was going to be a marathon. I'm not going to do these very often. I might do another one like this maybe later in the year or something like that. But thanks everyone who watched in the chat room, especially you, Brian. He was here from quite a while as well. Thanks to George making his debut. Kimberly, I'm glad to finally have you on and talk with you. And you got, while the rest of us are going to bed, you're getting ready to start your day.
Thanks for having me. This was awesome. Great to
And-
meet everybody.
Yeah. And of course, Sam, having you back on once again and having Skyla making your return after last month's live stream. So, anyhow, so yes, I'll have, I'm going to do another. Last month I did a tier list video of the best final girls where I kind of ranked them a little bit. I'm going to do something like that this week, only with our favorite monsters of horror. So look for that to pop up at some point. Not sure when I'm going to do it, but and as far as Substack goes, I don't know. So I'm going to start working on my next short story, which is going to be centered around witches this time. This time the witches are going to be the protagonist of the story instead of the antagonist. So I'm trying to do
Okay.
some research on that. I'm not sure which holiday I'm going to pick for that, since all these stories take place during the holidays. So that's what I'm up to anyway.
Mhm.
Okay, well, we're going to call it a night, everyone. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And we will see you next time on Horror Hangouts.